he quit actually being relevant about the time Star Trek: Next Generation ended. Always been looking for his next bit of e-fame, the next thing to pimp him a little bit. And you know, for somebody that's defending gaming spaces, he was the most obnoxious anti-gamer, anti-sci-fi, anti-convention little shit in the world. So he's a Johnny-come-lately, jumping on everybody's dick to make him think that he's God's gift to feminism in Hollywood. He's just hard not to. Yeah, he's just hard not to. But I mean, holy shit. He's a talk about Johnny-come-latelys. Holy fuck is he one.
You know what? He's a has-been. He's always been a has-been since the beginning when Star Trek Next Generation ended.
I wouldn't even care about it. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. I like the podcast where he was talking about RPG, tabletop RPGs, because I'm a fucking geek. And then he started interjecting politics and everything. And I was like, holy shit, dude, get off your fucking high horse. It's like, you were on a show where you had the two sexiest men alive for 4 years running, and you were on a show where the only reason Riker wasn't dry humping Troy was because they couldn't figure out a way to fit it in a plot.
You know what? The funny thing about him is that if it would have been for Felicia Day's the guild thing, it wouldn't jumpstart his career.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, because he came back into the whole thing when his career jumped.
Andre and the rest of the work with them.
Yeah, because Felicia Day helped his career, jumpstart his career because of the fact that her little indie TV show that she had on the internet for a long time, she basically made him famous when he appeared.
Yeah. I have to be honest, I kind of like the work that Will Wheaton does, but lately I really can't stand him. I can't stand him.
I know.
It's ruining for me.
He just basically made my stomach turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I cannot understand why. That's the problem. I mean, he is clearly a geek. I mean, he's not someone who panders to the nerd culture. I mean, he really believes in gaming and all those
board
things.
Games and such. He likes board games. Tabletop games, you name it.
I don't get why someone like him doesn't get the time to even consider that he's wrong about GamerGate. I'm not saying you should support it, okay? I'm not expecting to support it to be opening, GamerGate is amazing. Just don't be an asshole.
Well, don't be ignorant either.
Yeah.
You know what?
I'm okay.
He doesn't want to engage into it. That's the issue that we had with him. He doesn't want to debate with us on the issue. He doesn't want to talk about it either because he felt that.
I'm okay even with that. I'm okay with him being against GamerGate. A lot of people are against GamerGate and don't know shit about GamerGate. But don't be an asshole about it. If you don't know nothing,
because that fails the narrative of us harassing women when you're being an asshole.
Yeah, he's an asshole about it. If he wasn't an asshole about it, I wouldn't have unsubscribed. I would pay more attention to him. But he's got to act like an asshole, an uninformed asshole too.
Yeah.
I mean, if we take a look at the thing he wrote, and Anita getting on the Time 100 thing is even worse.
Well,
it's like 80% said no, and 20% said yes.
There is a thing about that a lot of people don't realize. The Time 100, that poll is a sucker play. They want to see how many people hit yes or no, because the most influential people, it doesn't matter whether you hit yes or no. Every vote, whether it's yes or no, pushes them further That's how fucking Bin Laden, that's how the guys who crashed the economy all ended up in the top 100 influential people of the year when they had resoundingly no votes. What Time does is they add up both the votes and say who got the most votes. So everybody running there to click no, they did it to themselves.
Well, and let's be honest. Anita, in a way, is influential.
Yes, she is.
I would argue on the fact that she is a good influence, but she is influential. I don't know if is one of the 100 most influential in the world on anything. I don't think so. But she is influential. The problem is the article described her as a good influence, and I don't agree.
I would disagree because if that were true, people would have bought Scythian, which we talked about yesterday, and nobody bought that after she talked about the game.
Yeah, okay. But the fact is, we are talking about Anita. And not because she's in the top 100. We were talking about Anita before. We are talking about Anita in gaming for years, and nothing but her. That's a fact.
Well, that's what
we are talking about her. Yeah, sure.
She is influential. She really, whether you like her or not, she's influential. She's been a rallying point. She had the chance to actually do something good, and if fullMcintosh hadn't been using her as a puppet, she had the chance to do something good and say, here are the actual problems. And she used to say that enjoying something doesn't mean to agree with it. Enjoying something, because everybody likes it. A lot of people like the Bond films, and they've got problems, but she's still a fucking figure that was important and influential, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it, but she is. And she's going to become more influential as she moves on to the talk show circuit and the consultant circuit, which is pretty much what she did.
I don't know that. I believe that the top of his influence has passed by now. I mean, maybe this time 100 is the top. I don't believe she will become more influential than she is today.
The top of her media appearances, that might have passed. I think anybody that's going to pick her up now is going to just kind of rehash old news. She still might have some potential, though, to continue doing things.
No.
It depends on what angle she works at, and if she's going to continue with gaming or if she's going to try to move into television, movies, or some other industry.
I don't believe she will beat the peak she is in now and in the last few years. I don't believe that. I don't believe she will grow to be even more influential. That's it. This is the extent of the influence of Anita Sarkeesian, in my opinion.
She's been moving into the talk circuit. She's been moving into the consulting circuit. She's been moving into the panel circuit. And that's where you get money, because that's where you get 200 to 300 grand an appearance, and you can work for 2 months instead of the year. But I think we're going to see more and more of her as GamerGate takes off and gets more into the public mainstream. They're going to hear the name Anita Sarkeesian, and Macintosh, who has Daddy's money behind him, is going to be able to help move her. The same way, good old arms dealing son Eric Lifshitz managed to shell out some cash and get Zoe to talk at a fucking lunch.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me she wasn't coached, because they bleached her hair out to get rid of that ridiculous color. They put her in designer clothes. They made her take out those ridiculous implants, and she sat there and read right off of her speech.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But Anita's coming at it from a different angle. She's coming at it from going on to these talk shows with feminist women, and a lot of them won't know about GamerGate until 30 minutes before she shows up. But she's going to go in there. She's going to talk into the narrative that is very popular right now on like entertainment, on ETV and Oxygen and all those other channels. That women are victims, and no matter what they do, they will always be a victim. I mean, Oxygen is great for that. Any Oxygen made movie you watch, the story is you're a woman, so you'll always be a victim, and there's nothing you can do about it. And she plays into that narrative. She's going to keep it. She's still on the rise. I've seen this shit before. It's gonna happen.
So, do you think she'll be Al Sharpton level eventually?
No, I don't believe she's gonna be Al Sharpton level. Because Al Sharpton wields just amazing political power. I mean, he wields tremendous. I think she's gonna be on the level of these women that you see jumping from panel to panel that are like on Oprah, and then she's on. Then they're on another show, and then another show. I think she's gonna be a talk show jumper.
Well,
maybe
do you believe that talk show jump is an improvement?
I believe it's more dangerous for us because
I don't know.
Every daytime talk show she goes on to is being watched by paranoid, helicopter parenting, weird women and men who want to raise their special snowflake concept of consequences, and they're going to go in there and say, what video games are you playing? Because it feeds into the women are victims no matter what they do narrative.
They could have kept funding the commercials on the SRB thing to teach people not to freaking buy certain games.
Yeah.
Instead of funding Anita Sarkeesian, they could have spent the money, doing commercials, trying to make a PSA about it. But no, they decided to fund Anita Sarkeesian.
Yeah.
The daytime talk show route, though, that is actually kind of interesting. Mainly because I'm trying to think of like if that segment is how that segment has still been in the last decade or so, because that would be probably kind of the logical next step for her would be to step into that realm, because I mean if there's still a sizable chunk of population of like stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home dads or people who are home during that 10 to 2 o'clock range, that would be perfect.
He would be the next Oprah.
For material. Yeah.
I mean, we can go through the article and just chime in. Anita Sarkeesian has played video games her whole life.
No
yeah,
shit.
right. That's a fucking lie. In 2012, after observing that women represent about 40% of the gaming audience, she launched a crowdfunding campaign for tropes versus women in video games, which is almost 3 years late now. A web series that would...
I will admit, I did donate to that because I was interested in what kind of academic examination she'd do. I'm profoundly disappointed.
She's done zero.
She basically caused moral panic among the gaming community.
Yeah, a web series that would explore 5 common and recurring stereotypes of female characters in video games. She hit her goal of 6,000 on the first day and ultimately raised more than $150,000. But she also became the target of vicious misogynist harassment that included death and rape threats, pornographic vandalism of her Wikipedia page, and a coordinated effort to have her Kickstarter flagged as terrorism.
I am really...
Did that happen? That last... I mean...
That's horrible, but it's funny.
Yeah, man. I mean... Did that happen?
I don't know.
I never heard about it.
What?
Trying to flag a Kickstarter as terrorist.
No,
I mean,
what happened was
Stupid.
Anita Sarkeesian, according to the story, is that she got harassed and threatened.
Yeah.
People sympathized with it and gave her the money to do that, because the fact that they all heard the story of her being, threatened by trolls and such, people don't seem to understand that this was all, the writers and everybody, shilling her as a victim.
Sure.
Yeah, let's just go through it. We can talk about this later. Because she the way women are portrayed in video games. Anita is just the latest woman writer. She's the law coined by journalist Helen Lewis that the sexist comments on any article about feminism justify the feminism in the face of a hysterical and childish abuse. Anita has refused to back down. She continues to speak around the world about the role of women in video games and popular media. She also talks about her life as a target in online culture war known as GamerGate. Jesus Christ. Waged by entitled male gamers. Okay. So, yeah, we're all just male gamers. Okay. Calgary Expo had no women in it, and we had no females in our streams. Yeah, right.
Is this the part where Wheaton tells us we're all 15?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we're all straight white males, and we basically.
Yeah, well, shut up, Wesley.
I said that yesterday.
Who fear change in an industry that is evolving while the theme determined to remain 15 forever. Yeah, you said 15. Jesus. Anita is a feminist for the digital age, using modern tools and platforms to engage thousands of people who want to hear her thoughts and respond to the challenges she raised. A lesser person may have thrown up her hands and unplug the game console, but Anita is determined to ensure that video games are inclusive and representative of everyone who plays them as the detractors grow. Increasingly unhinged. We have proved that her work efforts are working, and that's about it.
Wait.
He failed to also mention that she's also creating safe spaces.
Wait a minute. Let's rewind back. Unplug what console? She doesn't have one to unplug. She doesn't play video games.
Speaking of Star Trek Next Generation, as you know, the fans hate Will Wheaton's character, Rusty Crusher, and it's starting to get dangerous. Dangerous how, Mr. Furman?
What?
What the hell is that?
He's showing the video right now.
Sorry, I was showing a video. Kill Wesley, Snarkle.
Oh.
See, Anita doesn't bother me. She really doesn't. I mean, because she doesn't have the audience that the 700 Club had. Oral Roberts, Pat Robinson, those jackals. She doesn't have that kind of audience.
I don't think she knows what the 700 Club is.
She does by now. She's being coached politically. Trust me, her, Zoe, all these people are being coached politically, and who has no idea that she's the sacrificial lamb? That they're going to sacrifice her ass at the first opportunity to make points. She's got no clue. And that's what I think is funny. I mean, this is a basic op from the get-go. They got Zoe in front of Congress, and they're going to keep raking in the sucker money and pushing it further and further. But I'm a paranoid old man.
I do not believe that it will end in something significant. I mean, I believe gaming was in a way worse risk at the time of the first Mortal Kombat, for example.
Oh God, I remember that. People,
Yeah.
that was on Nightline. People freaked the fuck out. There was.
I mean, right now things are annoying. There is a lot of corruption, a lot of collusion, a lot of lies, a lot of whatever you want. But video games are established as a hobby that has some kind of dignity. Not everybody shares that opinion, but is there to stay. We are beyond the level where games are really at risk. We have to endure these people, but they are really dying by themselves, especially game journalism. Game journalism is dead for years. Now that there is YouTube, now that developers have a mean to engage directly with the consumer. All these people who spew opinions about games, they're 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 old news.
Yeah.
They're not needed anymore. And in a sense, I'm sad about it because there are people who are amazing in what they do with the coverage of video games, etc. For example, I like a lot Liana Kay. But game journalism is dead. It will be Let's Players and YouTubers, and that's it. People where I can see the game in front of my eyes. Not I have to read what someone else think and hope that I think the same things, that I agree with him because I can't see the game. I have to trust them. We don't have to trust anybody. We can trust our eyes. So all these journalists, all these critics are not staying. I mean, they're dying. It's you know what they said about gamers. Gamers are dead. This is the violent backlash of a dying breed. It's them. They are the dying breed, and they are actually angry at that because they know they are losing their revenue. I mean, look at League Alexander. She was game journalism, and now is begging. Is basically begging for a way to live.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's over, and it's not even GamerGate. I mean, it's not that we defeated them. They were dying already before GamerGate.
We're just
They decided to throw the last smear campaign to die with a bang instead of a whimper. But they're dead. They're dying, and there is nothing they can do about it.
I think the biggest place the game journalism took a hit was when Mass Effect 3 came out, and we all bitched about the ending, which we were told would completely wrap up everything we had done. And what we got was a 3-button select. And the gaming journalist told us we were whining entitled babies for dropping $180 or more on this series. You know, basically more than 2 days' pay. And we complained that we were lied to. The gaming journalist called us entitled babies and told us to quit sniveling, and that EA had capped it off with a masterpiece. Look, motherfucker, getting a choice between A, B, and C is not a gaming masterpiece. If you can cut out the entire series and go straight to the climax and not lose any part of the plot, and not have any choice to be different, you have failed as a writer. And that's what it is. They failed. They failed because some fucking EA corporate suit got confused that more than four syllables were used in a sentence, and there were more than 2 characters, and he wanted it rewritten, and they rewrote the fucker. And then we were left with a piece of shit press 3 buttons, which was fine for Human Revolutions because that was a prequel, and you can only take a prequel so far. But it's not fine in a fantasy space opera where we have been making all these decisions thinking they were going to matter in the end, and then they tied half of the fucking game into multiplayer that nobody wanted or asked for. And and they told us we were whiners. They told us we were entitled to these. I'm not entitled. Well, I pay $180 for something. I pay $180 for something. You better give me what you told me you were going to give me. Because I would.
To be honest,
shit.
I'm not agreeing with either side, in the sense that people are not whiny. They paid money. They expected something, and they're right to be angry. But at the same time, the whole change the ending or something like that, I do not agree with that. I believe game developers gives you a product, and you as a consumer have the faculty to decide, I will never support you again.
But the other thing
it's what I do. I mean,
we have in every other industry, we don't have it here because of lobbyists. We don't have it in Europe because of lobbyists. You can't return a piece of shit. If you buy something and you open the container and a big fat dog turd falls out, you don't get to return it. They've got your money. You can go fuck yourself.
Okay. And I can understand it for a very small company that sells you something and doesn't expect to sell you nothing anymore. But I give you an example. I'm kind of boycotting Capcom. Why? Because of Street Fighter. I bought Street Fighter 4. Less than a year later, I kind of had to buy Super Street Fighter 4 because if I was playing Street Fighter, nobody was online because the new game was out. And then, again, less than a year after, Super Street Fighter Arcade Edition. I don't want to pay 3 times for the same fucking game. So I stopped buying everything from Capcom. And I stopped.
But see, the thing, in my opinion, the thing with Mass Effect is entirely different. We were promised that they were going to wrap up all the loose ends and give us a long, explained ending and shit, and they didn't.
Yeah,
and that's where the whole extended cut thing or whatever came in, and even that still left some questions, but it was a lot better than the ending the game shipped with.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, maybe even before, because I'm not a great fan of BioWare. I feel that BioWare always says, "Oh, great ability to decide what choice you make, and great interactivity, multiple endings, etc., etc." And even from Baldur's Gate, I don't feel it. I know BioWare makes this statement that is doing something absolutely great when you have a lot of freedom, etc., and always disappoint, at least always disappoint me. So I am prepared to be disappointed by BioWare, and I don't buy as many BioWare games as many others do. So what I'm saying is, if you are disappointed about the ending of a game and you feel you have been ripped off, remember that when you make your purchase.
I think the gray area that's kind of the at issue here is it's the difference between a consumer product and the developer's sort of vision. A lot of people now sort of regard games as being art, or games as being whatever crafted in the game's story is kind of up to this. A developer obviously puts their time and energy into making this game, kind of their specific vision, and they want the players to experience that. When the players don't experience that, or they experience it differently, or they say, in the respect of Mass Effect, this is wrong. I think their first reaction is to basically feel rather slighted because they're like, well, we just put all of our time and effort into this,
and I'm okay with that.
You gave us the middle finger.
This is getting way off topic.
I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, we're getting way off topic with the whole Mass Effect, which is a whole. Let's move on to the next topic, which is yogscast not disclosing shit they've done with the paid promotions. What do you guys think of this?
How was it promoted? I mean, I didn't see it, so
they say it was promoted.
I don't know how bad it's
a little bit somewhere. I'm trying to refresh my memory here.
I don't know how bad it was. so I can say.
The link is right there. You can click on it.
Well,
Yeah, but no, I mean it's Reddit. Is someone saying main channel? Blah, 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 what did we do? Oh, okay. There is a video.
Yeah, there is everything in there. That's
But there is no one who knows about it that has any information without watching the whole video.
No, because in the video they at no point had in the description or said that it was a paid promotion.
Just from reading the first comment here, where this user is saying yogscast has been very salty over having to disclose. I think I have heard some stuff about that, especially with the dust up there with Total Biscuit. But I guess according to, I forget where I heard it, but somebody was saying not all of yogscast members kind of feel the same way. I think they all kind of feel differently about it. And actually, I think he had one of the yogscast people on his co-optional podcast last week.
Yeah.
I want to say. I forget who it was, but it sounds to me like they basically are just being kind of obstinate about doing the whole disclosure thing, probably for the same reason why Ben Kuchera refuses to acknowledge that anything exists in the world, because that would mean he'd have to admit that he was wrong about something, and God forbid he actually do that.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's kind of interesting now that we're even outside of games journalism, we're always finding all these new instances of people not disclosing paid promotions and stuff like they should, like Joe has done in the past. Joe had a lot of issue with not disclosing paid promotions, and now that he does, he just does the fucking cookie cutter thing as if that's somehow better, but that's a discussion for another time.
I don't know if that is so bad, in the sense it's something that shouldn't happen. Okay, of course we have to strive for more disclosure and everything. I believe that small violation of this disclosure are to be expected, not forgiven, but people do this kind of stuff all the time. We have to be watchful. We have to make them pay for that. I mean, they have to understand that we are not letting it slide, but they did something wrong. They were caught doing something wrong, and apparently, at least I see they added that on the description. It's bad. They corrected. It's not something terrible. I mean, they backed up, they backed down, and they corrected themselves. They added
the only real reason though that they're doing that is that they were called on it,
and it's why it's important to call them out. It's important to call them out. What I'm saying is not like they are going out and saying it's fucking game journalism, nobody cares, like how was his name, the Nazi banana.
Amazing Atheist?
Miles Chong is...
Oh, Miles Chong, yeah.
Who said that basically nobody cares, so they can breach every ethic norm whenever they want. They did something bad.
You know what that sounds like when he says nobody cares, I can do whatever I want? That sounds like the guy that gets arrested for killing and eating hobos. Nobody cares. They were just hobos. I shouldn't be prosecuted.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying they were caught doing something bad. It's bad. They were called. They corrected themselves. For sure, they did that only because they were caught. At the very least, they didn't try to smear the people who were caught, them not disclosure the paid advertising, etc. I mean,
at this point, if you tried to smear people who were calling out you doing something unethical, whether a YouTuber or whatever, especially if you're a YouTuber, because all the YouTubers are watching what's going on to the games, journalist media, and they want to stay out of our crosshairs as much as possible. So to smear us for us calling us out something unethical that they've done, they'd have to be a fucking retards at this point.
I mean, but there are a lot of retards out there. I mean, there are a lot of them.
I mean, this isn't the first time we've talked about yogscast either, so they're fucking up again.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like they're doing it on purpose.
I agree.
Yeah, it almost seems like that at this point.
I mean, they fucked up. They were called. They retracted. Let's move on.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next topic, which is kind of funny. Somebody literally printed a video or an image of Vivian James and punching it.
Okay, I want to say something here. I'm a very physical person, even with my injuries. Spent a lot of time, they recommended boxing for physical therapy and everything. So I spent a lot of time at the punching bag. It's a way to, my therapist said that it's a way to deal with anger management is taking out a punching bag instead of a person. Whoever did that said they spent 20 minutes on the punching bag, and all they did was crinkle the fucking paper. Hey, I got a better idea. Try some fucking push-ups, you fucking ham beast.
That's pretty much what I thought when I saw it too. I was like, wait, there's no cracks in. Wait, what? Did you laminate the thing before you stuck it on the bag?
Knocks one off the fucking chain, but holy shit, if I put a picture up there, I'd do some fucking damage to it. And this person is bragging, oh, I've done it 2 days straight, and she's looking a little weak. The only thing that looks weak is your refrigerator because it's empty. All right, stop showing punching bag because you're not. Because that punching bag is in damn near pristine condition, and any wear on it, she probably got it, is probably from when she bought it at a fucking yard sale. If you're gonna beat on something, beat on it. If grandma over here beat on a fucking picture on a punching bag, that shit would be torn up within a minute. Okay, that was the most lamest, most biggest example of I have no upper body strength and punch like a fucking 3-day-old corpse.
The picture was untouched?
The picture had one little tear in it, and it was a big full page and taped on a punching bag, and they crinkled it in one little tear. If you had done that bad, I would have made you run laps and do push-ups until you were half dead.
Tell the baby.
Yeah, the baby could do that. Fuck, the baby got a hold of a fucking piece of paper I dropped on the floor. She tore that shit up in less than 30 seconds. And how weak are you that you can't defeat a picture of a girl on a piece of paper? Okay? Holy shit. Do some upper body strength. Learn how to fucking box. Learn how to use a fucking punching bag, and stop posting pictures on Twitter until you can hit hard enough to at least dent the fucking bag a little. Because for fuck's sake, it's not intimidating, and it makes you look fucking stupid as shit. Put down the sandwich and do some upper body work at the gym.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. This is awesome. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. Why?
More to the point of Vivian James in general, like why I've actually noticed this even among like other people on Twitter, like reactions anytime somebody posts a picture of her or fan art or even like cosplayers, like I really kind of laugh at the people who get really bitter, like very bitter about the fact that like Vivian James exists in the first place. Like I personally think it's pretty. It's kind of a cute way of spearheading the movement, and even I know the original, the origin of her, obviously, from the fine young capitalists.
Yeah.
And I think I think that people are still super salty about the fact that 4chan funded that whole thing. And Vivian James exists purely as the culmination of those efforts.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much now the de facto. You know, if there's any leader in GamerGate, it's pretty much now Vivian James.
Yeah.
And also bragging, oh, it's after my kickboxing workout. Okay, I used to work out with this dude. I don't know where he's from. He was Asian, and I was a fucking ignorant white kid in the 80s. And this motherfucker would get on the bag for his kickboxing. And I'm telling you, if that picture was on his bag, it would have been one kick and gone. Because this dude would hit that bag like a fucking cyclone. And I mean, so, it was my whole workout on her. What, did you walk up and lean against it and breathe heavy? Holy shit. I mean, I respect kickboxers. And, but showing that picture, so what they could have done is walk up and torn it a little bit with their fingers to make it look more impressive. Because apparently they've got no fucking power. Because kickboxers that are trained and into it and, bulked up, they can do some serious fucking damage. I mean, there used to be a sign at the gym I used to go to that said no kickboxing on this bag because it was supported by the wooden roof. You needed to go over where it was the main steel I-beam so that these fucking boxers didn't rip up the fucking roof. And if you can't defeat a piece of fucking paper, about the only thing you've defeated in your life is a fucking sandwich. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, what else do we have to say except for what Grandpa Rels has said here?
Yeah, I don't really have anything additional to add to that.
All right, let's move on to the next topic, which is one sec. It's the recent article by Breitbart, how irrelevant game reviewers are. 3%, 3% think that it's important to buyers for, with what reviewers have to say. The 22% interesting story and premise, which is the major or the biggest part of what people said. So.
Yeah.
Reviewers are one of the least amount of things people are interested in when looking for a game.
I think you owe a lot of that to just today's kind of accessibility of media. The fact that you can pretty much publish Let's Plays and playthroughs and things on YouTube, and even just like the things like Nintendo with Nintendo Direct. I think your publishers and your developers are finding out that you really don't need the reviewer anymore in order to put content out. You can pretty much just make up some stuff, employ a small marketing team or hire a PR company, throw some shit out there, and then assuming you have something that's worth a salt, you'll have drummed up enough to make some pre-orders, and then after the game sells, if it does really well, you just keep coasting from there.
Yeah, not to mention if the game sells well, a lot of big YouTubers will pick it up, start talking about it, playing it, stuff like that, and that helps it even more.
There is a game journalist, anonymously, was on Reddit, and we talked about the influence of game journalism, the need of game journalism today. And he was talking about how basically the consumer in every area is basically an ignorant beast that needs to be educated. That was the general idea on the role of game journalists. They have the culture. They basically are a cultural elite to instruct the lesser people.
I'm sorry, but that may have been true in like the 90s when the internet was like hardly anything back then, but I don't really see that as being true at all anymore.
The fact is that generally is right about the consumer in general, but that kind of consumer, the ignorant consumer, is not the one who goes and reads about games. Is the one who goes to the shop, buy a game, play it, and doesn't give a shit. He doesn't know what Kotaku, what Gamma Sutra is, what Polygon is. He doesn't even know those names. He just buy the game, play it, and that's it. The people who read game journalism are the people who are invested enough to want to know other opinions on the game they like and things like that. People who have a certain culture about the games, and they continuously underestimate their audience. There is no such thing as the ignorant gamer who reads about gaming. There's no such thing. But they strongly believe that all the readers are ignorant, are people who needs someone to tell them what gaming is, what they have to like, what they have to think about gaming. They do not understand that many gamers who read about game journalism are just at the same level of culture when it comes to gaming, if not even more.
I don't know that they're necessarily ignorant of their base, but I do think that they don't necessarily pay attention to the trends of their readership. Because if they did, or if they actually cared about their readership, then you wouldn't have, the sad story cases of Polygon and others who basically, clammed up after GamerGate because everybody who didn't necessarily enjoy their opinion, and they, if those people truly didn't like the content they had, they wouldn't be reading it. But then you have like Kuchera, who comes out and says, well, I don't want you guys to read anything I write anyway because you're not my audience. It harks back to that Penny Arcade comic that they did way back when about the one that they introduced the Twisp and Catsby joke in, where they were just like, oh, well, we don't have to make comics about you anymore because you're not our intended reader. Lampooning on the fact that I think it was I forget who at the time made that statement, but they were, I think it was a movie actually. They were just like, oh well, this film isn't for critics because critics won't get what I'm all about, and it's like, you either, if you're going to make something and you're then going to tell the press, oh well, what you think doesn't matter to me, that's fine, because I mean, you don't necessarily need a reviewer to validate your work, but the people who are running these publications obviously depend on their readership. Their readership's going to turn to them and say, well, what do you think about this? And if they come out and say something completely off the wall, way out in left field, and the readership calls them back on that, well, now the burden of proof is back on you. You either need to justify why you threw out that left field opinion, or you need to retract it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're right. We are not the readership, or at least not anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I've read a few reviews here and there, but I've never made a purchasing decision based on a reviewer because, quite frankly, most of the people who do popular games reviews, or at least the popular sites, aren't really in my wheelhouse of gaming anyway. I mean, right now I'm staring at 100% Orange Juice on Steam, and that's probably not a game that anybody in the hardcore gaming segment plays. Tough for them. I apparently like playing board games that make me rage.
It's just sad that they're trying so hard to actually try to say that, oh, these people are horrible, oh, these people, with a smiling face doing it.
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen this with YouTube and just podcasts in general the last few years getting more popular than sites themselves.
Which is true. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people, they just talk about the news. That's basically what they do, and basically share information with the public about what's going on and what they think of it and what their opinions are. people like to listen to what's going on.
It may also boil down to personality too, because I actually, the one site I do or have paid attention to in the last few years is Giant Bomb, and pretty much ever since Giant Bomb started after GameSpot and Gerstmann there back in '08, like their whole center of that site has basically been, well, here's a gaming community website, something sort of similar to NeoGAF, but we're going to have some dudes on there that make videos and post content and talk about games.
Yeah, well,
they're almost the predecessors to YouTubers in a way.
Well, the issue with the game Giant Bomb, I mean, is they've banned all GamerGate discussion, and they've been unethical lately. So
that actually disappointed me the most, because I am a fan of a lot of the old Giant Bomb content, and I actually kind of did a little dance when Patrick what's-his-name left and joined Kotaku.
Yeah, Mike Kramer had a game which she actually helped on, and someone on the site, I can't remember his name, was paid by someone to have a booth. So, I mean...
And that's just a shame, because all those guys quit GameSpot after the whole Alex
Navarro,
they all quit GameSpot all over that ethical issue. They all founded Giant Bomb with the purpose of trying to avoid those ethical issues, and then to fall right back into that pit is just, what the fuck were they thinking?
Yeah, they're censoring. I've been in contact with someone who migrated from Giant Bomb, and he got banned for just talking about Gamergate.
See, that just disappoints me a lot.
Yeah, and they're becoming irrelevant because they're fucking corrupt and taking money, and that makes people trust them less.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a reader of Gamasutra. Honestly, I didn't care about reviews. I cared about the insider information and information on game design, on the latest technology, on game developing. But for game reviews, I can't remember the last time I needed game journalism. Probably it was The Game Machine, which is an Italian publication and was in the SNES era, SNES.
Yeah, I just can't.
Back in the days.
I can't trust an industry where Games Journals Pro is excused.
It's not even that. I mean, that is a scandal and everything. But even before, I can think of a reason why I should trust the opinion of someone else on which game should I like. It's my taste.
I think it pays I think there's a certain factor to it, either whether it be written or YouTube or whatever. But it's only going to influence you a small amount. Like if you see a game that you're really excited about, you're obviously going to look up stuff for that game, and depending on what you find, will either make you say, okay, I'm even more excited, I'm going to get this game or pre-order it or whatever, or you're going to be like, I'll wait a bit, and then I might like rent the game, and then if I like it, I'll still get it.
Yeah, but I never trusted game journalism to give me that information, except for specific mechanics. I mean, very technical description. But the fact that a journalist says this is amazing, not this as mechanic X, Y, Z, but something that is a personal opinion, I don't see why I should take his personal opinion into account, because he has some tastes and I have mine.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. It's one thing if they talk about the mechanics and say, "Oh, well, I really like these mechanics," because you still at least know about the mechanics that they're talking about. It's another thing if they just say, "Oh, this game is so amazing," and then that's it.
Or they say, "I feel."
Yeah.
I'm okay with I feel because you say it's your opinion. I mean, I feel this game is good. It's not good. It's not objectively good. It's what I feel.
Then you're not being objective, which a review is supposed to be.
It's not informative because it's what I feel.
Well,
but
see, I look at it this way. I think if you separate your personal opinion, like say I'm working on a review for Far Cry 4 or whatever, if I separate the facts of the game from what I feel about it, like have my thoughts of it at the end of the game, then I feel like that's good, because I mean you're still giving an objective presentation and sharing your thoughts on the game without one mucking up the other.
You know what? One thing that pisses me off, and I don't know if it ever happened in English-speaking game journalism, because the last time I seen it, it was in Italian game outlets. Something disappeared completely, and is longevity. How much a game keeps you entertained. At least in Italy, there used to be a score for longevity. This game will keep you entertained for a month, for 6 months, for a day and a half.
I think the English equivalent of that is replayability.
Yeah, I think so too. But I mean, to me, replayability or longevity or whatever you want to call it, it all depends on the player. Different people are going to be more interested in different types of games, and a person reviewing it may not be as interested in a game as I am or you are, so they won't see that replayability or the longevity. They won't be entertained as long, so they'll be less likely to go back and either get things they missed or just play it again.
Yeah, but I want to know, if I buy a game, I spend $50, $70, and I have 6 hours worth of gameplay. I mean, 6 hours of gameplay for $70 here in Europe is a ripoff.
Well, see, it's one thing to talk about the minimum amount of gameplay hours. That's fine, but
yeah,
how long?
That's it.
It might have a game might only have 6 hours of real gameplay, but that game might keep you entertained longer than 6 hours, and might keep you entertained less than 6 hours.
But I want to know these informations. I want to know them. I want to know there is a main quest that lasts for a day, a month, 2 months. How many side quests there are? There are many side quests. There is a lot of options that I have to explore, or is linear 6 hours? That's it. I want to know that.
I think one way you could possibly put that out is because a lot of developers now build analytics into their games. I know Gearbox is one of them that builds a lot of analytics into Borderlands to basically tell them, how long somebody has spent playing this, max levels, et cetera, et cetera. If they released a lot of those analytics from early playtesting to reviewers, a reviewer could possibly take that and compile a rough idea of how long it might take to complete that. But at the same time, if a reviewer is playing a game from start to finish, they could also, extrapolate how long it would possibly take on that too. Assuming, of course, they finish the game. If they don't finish the game, then obviously that's not gonna. Then it's gonna be left up to individual.
But I really want to know. I am the only one who think that is a vital information for the customer. I mean.
Oh, I agree. It's just, again, you have to be careful about how you go about doing it, simply because you might want to play the game longer than the guy reviewing it. So you might be more engrossed in it.
But you must have at least some basic information on how much the game
Yeah,
gives
I'm
you
sure.
value.
Yeah, I agree. You have to have some sort of basis to go off of. It's like Skyrim. Everybody played the shit out of Skyrim, and a lot of people like did everything, like every side quest, every event, all the main story, and everything. It was like like 45 hours of gameplay or something ridiculously long number like that.
Even
There
more,
was
I believe.
there was a lot to do in that game, and
Yeah.
I wasn't really interested in all the side quests, so I
And it's
just played
okay.
through the main story.
I mean, you say about the main quest. The main quest takes this and that, but you have a lot of side quests, you have a lot of options, etc. I'm not saying you should do very analytical examination on how much exactly will keep you entertained, but I feel there is no information at all about this.
And you
lately.
want some information at least. Yeah,
Yeah,
I just understand that and I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think by the way that one of the reasons why this argument about how long is a game is completely ignored because games are shorter and shorter every year. I can finish an Assassin's Creed in one intense game day of playing. I assure you that Assassin's Creed 2 I bought one morning and at 3 a.m. in the night I finished it. I finished it completely.
Yeah, but see, it depends on the game too. I mean, there are games that have gotten shorter, and there are games that have gotten longer. I think Assassin's Creed has actually gotten longer. If you look at how long it takes to complete Unity or Black Flag, I would argue that it's longer than it would take to complete Assassin's Creed 2.
That is vital information. One of the most important information, in my opinion.
Yeah. Anyway, Androdal wants to move on to the next topic now. So
let's move on. I just have to mark it in, so people who are watching this afterwards can
skip to the part where we're not rambling like morons.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. So the next topic is Mark Kern. Saying GamerGate is a hate group, obvious thing, but he's always said he's neutral. But do you think he's become pro GG?
I'm not convinced of his neutrality, honestly, and maybe that's just because I'm a little apprehensive of his involvement in the first place. I mean, I read a lot of, or not really a lot of, but some of the backstory with him and Red 5, his last venture there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think let me put it this way. I think his intentions are good. I just don't know if him getting involved in all of this is necessarily panning out the way I think people want him to.
Yeah, that's fair criticism. I don't really care if he's in it or not personally, because there are he's gonna do his own thing. Doesn't matter what he's doing. GamerGate is gonna do its thing, calling out corrupt and unethical behavior.
I don't really think I think Mark Kern said that sarcastically.
I think it's more like I'm just reading the tweet here. Like, what does it say? It took me about a month. There are many twists and turns to be sure, but now I'm sure GamerGate are gamers who have been libeled. I mean, it took you that long to figure out that people were being unnecessarily thrown into
you gotta understand, a lot of people, especially Mark Kern, had no clue what GamerGate was. Had no clue what was going on. They basically were told that these people, by PR, that we are horrible people and shouldn't be paid attention to. But Mark Kern managed to go in and look at all the tweets and realize that, oh my God, these people are being libeled and blamed for something they didn't do. He's starting. It's like it's
Well,
like that whole.
I'm a little confused here because I seem to recall seeing Mark Kern tweeting out pro GamerGate tweets already prior to this tweet from April 15th. So I'm a little confused. I thought he already was pro.
I'm pretty sure he was very pro early on, and then he kind of retracted back when he kind of got
right now, according to some of his tweets, he's retweeting like Vivian James, Professor Nick, Mark Salmonfink. You know who he is.
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, Lord Triggersaurus. Yeah, he's retweeting.
Well, if he starts retweeting the Ralph retort, then I'll unfollowed, banned, blocked, done. Sorry.
Yeah, he's retweeting the color crew.
You better block me then. I retweet the Ralph retort.
Yeah.
Nah,
the fact is, he may not have a clue what's going on with Gamergate. He did manage to talk to 8chan. He did have the balls to talk to 8chan about what's going on. Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't even go to 8chan that often.
I know he went
to
do an interview, and everyone was like asking him what's going on, and he even retweeted a lot of things. For months now, he's starting to learn what's going on. Slowly progressing to the point. Yeah, he's starting to learn what the gaming community is in 8chan and right now Gamergate, and understanding what's going on.
All right. Last thoughts. What do you think? It's good, bad?
I personally think he's just learning. He's learning slowly on what we're doing. Even though, he retweets Lana K's quotes, and they're talking. It's not a bad thing, Lana K. I don't really, I do have issues with her sometimes, but I leave her alone and let her do her own thing.
Yes. Anyway, here's my thoughts on it.
I trust Mark Kern pretty much as I trust anybody else. He does a good thing, and I applaud that, and he does a bad thing, and I call him out. I don't think he deserves a special treatment. He's saying a thing, I agree, good. I do not agree, okay, I call you out on your bullshit.
Well,
but that's
true,
it.
but he also did make StarCraft. He did help make StarCraft.
Okay. I don't think it's that relevant.
Jack wanted to say something.
Sure.
I can understand him taking a while to fully form his opinions and who's been libeled and who's been not. Saying that we've been libeled is a lot different than saying people have been lying about us or misrepresenting us. Saying we were libeled is a very distinct legal connotation. And taking your time to look into something, if it takes you a month, if it takes you a year, as long as you believe in what you've come to the conclusion of and came about it as honestly as you could, because everybody has personal biases, I've got no problem. I've tweeted back and forth with him several times. He seems surprised that he got attacked the way he did, and that's enough to set you off to where you're like, holy shit, what exactly is going on, and to make you look at yourself, especially. And you also have to remember, he's surrounded by people who toe the SJ party line. So it could take a month for him to divorce the rhetoric from the facts from what everybody he knows and previously trusted said. So a month is not that long. So okay, I'm done there.
There's still people who are kind of taking their time trying to form their own opinions on this whole thing. And then there's obviously people out there in the gaming community in general, the YouTube community, the development community, obviously, who have their opinions. They're just not really comfortable talking about it for fear that they'll be attacked for it.
Yeah, which. Go ahead.
You have to realize that the rhetoric is that we should not be listening. I mean, you should not talk to GamerGate. You should not let them speak. So it's pretty obvious that a lot of people have the wrong impression on us, because everybody is saying horrible things about us, and on top of that, they're saying they are all liars. They should not be given the chance to speak. Just look at what happened to David Pacman when he gave us some interviews. People were saying, you are giving space to a hate group, you should stop. He started to receive threats. The idea outside GamerGate is that we are like ISIS, that we should that there is nothing good with engaging with us at any level.
The only thing, I don't know how we're worse than ISIS, because I don't force marriage on women. I don't, kidnap women or behead women, and yet they think we do it because we're ISIS. We're not ISIS. We're just human beings concerned about games journalism.
Yeah.
And it's like they accuse us of all this BS, and it's like, we have no clue what you're talking about. You're freaking nuts. Leave us alone. And yet they keep interjecting all their vagina politics, and I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, and you really have to think that there's probably people out there, quite a few people who are sympathetic or like pro, but they don't want to be openly because they are they're afraid that they're going to be attacked and torn up for it.
I know, and the fact that David Gallant and the rest of the SJW crew leading the attack is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like the guy from World of Warcraft talked about this. He was like asking questions about it, and then he suddenly got attacked for disagreeing with him.
Yeah.
It was funny reading that whole thing, and I remember going on. I remember going on there doing the whole safe space. I was the one that posted the safe space thing, and everyone got upset with me downvoting it when I posted it. Basically, I kind of trolled the whole board, and they all disagreed with me about the issue, thinking I was doing it just to cause Gamergate. Secretly, I just wanted to ask their opinion on it, and they got pissed off at me because you know how World of Warcraft is. They're a community of people who have to earn their shit.
Yeah.
Especially in raids and PvP. They are tough as nails people. None of this sissy crap that they do. They basically don't believe in the babying and all that other stuff.
Well, to me, they are already pretty much sheltered because I come from Ultima Online. I mean, I believe in free PvP, and I mean before the whole Trammel and Fluke. So I believe in a concept of MMO where people kill you, take all your stuff, and that's it. It's on you. I mean, I believe in pretty brutal environment of gaming.
Especially losing XP. I was in Diablo.
Everything.
I played Diablo online.
Diablo was the first game I ever played online, and I was pretty big in the Italian community.
Yeah, and I remember how hard it was, especially when you tried to skip through the whole thing trying to cheat. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun in those days, but when you get one shot at you did something wrong.
Yeah. But you remember how PK was in Diablo.
Come latelys with your Ultima Online and Diablo. Never winter nights on AOL, bitches. You can get killed in the fucking spawning zone.
I still remember that.
I remember. Yeah, but my computer wasn't that powerful at the time. I would love to play that game.
The only problem was it was $1.99 a minute, and they didn't tell you till you got your phone bill, and you're like, "What the fuck? I have a $1,200 phone bill."
Yeah, I remember those days.
And let's not forget,
Thankfully,
it was all dial-up.
Near the
I
end
know
of the
that.
AOL bullshit.
It was an 11.4K modem that transferred shit at the speed of going to the AOL headquarters and walking back with it.
Yeah, and I remember 56K was just the thing back then.
Well, I feel lucky. By the time I was doing any computer gaming, I was past all of the AOL bullshit.
My first computer
Lucky you.
game involved a BBS
When it's on.
and a frickin' game and a 300 baud modem where you could literally watch the text scroll across the screen, and your older sister would watch you and wait until you were like in a battle and go over there and pick up the phone and just start snapping your fingers into it so you lost,
yeah.
and then come back and walk.
Yep. I got trolled so many times by phones back in the dial-up days.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Right, do we...
That shit led to so many fistfights. My father bought a second line, and my sister would still fuck with me. And then I found out why. Because she held the #1 slot on the goddamn game.
Nice.
Well, let's move on to the next topic, which is Rooster Teeth doing a Guardian interview. I can read the most important part of it. The last year in gaming has been hard for the culture with Gamergate and everything that's gone with it. It's been tough to watch. I will freely admit there have been times in the last year when I thought to myself, do I identify myself as being a gamer at this point? Am I a part of this culture? Do I fit in this? It's like anything. A very vocal minority that are saying things because they get attention for it, and that happens all the time. Games Kids was not direct response to Gamergate, but rather had its roots in Rooster Teeth's desire to focus things that we like rather than negativity. That's why we don't do game reviews, because we're not here to tell you why something is bad, because a lot of people worked on that thing. And also there's a lot of people who enjoy something and they don't need someone telling them it's not to be enjoyed. So game, that's pretty much all he's... Oh, here he continues. We're not quite finished with Gamergate yet, though. Burns has some nuanced views on how last year's online debate and game culture more generally may have been perceived by the wider world. So it's not really a negative.
No, exactly. I mean, it's pretty neutral.
So wait. That was Rooster Teeth saying all that? If they were questioning if they identified themselves as gamers?
Yeah.
Let me see what the question was. He basically, the interviewer just asked about Gamergate, basically.
So I mean, we're talking about Rooster Teeth, who got their start on, who basically owe pretty much most of their shit to Red versus Blue, and they're questioning if they identify themselves as gamers.
I used to remember downloading those
thing.
videos when I still had 56K, and I remember how hard it was to download those videos.
Well, Rooster Teeth, you have now won the award for biggest morons ever.
Yeah.
No, actually, they were very, very, very carefully. And I don't blame them one bit. They recently sold their company. They've had a hell of a year, and not in a good way. And they've got to be very careful with what they say, and they know it. Because if they came out and said, yeah, we're gamers and we disagree with the rhetoric going on, they would get crushed. And a lot of their older videos and some of the stuff they did, the SJWs would jump all over. They're already getting shit for SJWs because they only have like one woman on their team, and they constantly get shit on because of it. And yeah, I don't blame them for being very quiet at all. If I had a business that big and I had that big of a following and that many videos out there that you can't do anything about, and your team is made up the way it is, I probably wouldn't even say. They would have said, "What do you think about GamerGate?" and I would have went, "Next fucking question."
Well, they've been known in Texas for a long while. I've been a fan of them when I was probably when I first saw Rooster Teeth, because my friend introduced me to their Red versus Blue videos, and they were laughing their asses off watching it.
My favorite one was Welcome to the Internet, and I think they need to do that again and post it back up again, because their welcome to the Internet is pretty much the way the Internet is, and these SJWs need to listen. But they've got a big business, and it's a big moneymaker. Their livelihoods depend on it. So like a lot of developers, what the SJWs have actually done is silence them, plain and simple.
Yeah, and especially now they're branching out. They actually are branching out with their cartoon show that they made. It's sad that one of their animators died.
Oh, RWBY.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was actually pretty good.
Another one left the studio.
It was called Ruby.
Oh, well, whatever.
It's RWBY. It's RWBY.
I think I watched like one thing for it, like way back when it was being previewed, and then I haven't gotten to it since, so I'm just lazy.
It's on Crunchyroll.
Oh, well,
right now,
that explains that.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been trying so hard.
I mean, I understand that they have at the same time, if I was in their position, I would have the fucking balls to take a goddamn side.
I actually don't really blame people for not taking sides, though. I
mean, me neither.
It's kind of more like to take a side would impact your, especially if you're a business, it would impact your business. On the other hand, though, you can take a side and still, negotiate, at least talking points wise.
In a situation like this, you have gamers, which is us, and then you have people who don't play video games, people who don't care about video games, and people who aren't going to watch, buy, or have anything to do with video game content. Be it fucking Red versus Blue, or anything else Rooster Teeth has done. The people who are on the other side aren't gonna buy that shit, they're not gonna watch it, they don't give a flying fuck.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I agree a little bit, but maybe that is an exaggeration. I mean, I think remain neutral in a business sense is still the best option, because no matter what, by choosing a side, it doesn't matter which side, you lose a big chunk of popularity from the opposite side. So it makes sense.
It's hard to
best
tell.
Option? Maybe no. I'm not denying it's the best option in the business sense. That doesn't mean it's the right option. And as somebody who's working on building a channel and a website and stuff, who's come out and decided from the very beginning I was going to be very pro even before I got started on YouTube. I understand that I understand that it's the best choice, but I don't see it as the right choice.
I mean, I am very pro. Obviously, I agree with you. on what is the right thing to do.
I mean,
Well,
I think when you have something, and in their case something big to lose, you are expected to have some um, y- some uneasiness on taking a side. Okay, at the very least, because there is lots and lots to lose.
When you're America.
Yeah.
well, I think it's easy for us to say what they should do when we're not in their position, and they have a lot of people following them. It's just I think it's more important for them just doing their thing and not telling them what to do. If they're unethical, we should call them out. Nothing more than that.
yeah, if we can do that. If we can catch on to the point that they did something wrong, they need to obviously respond. If they don't want to respond to that issue and engage with us, and avoiding that is just the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, but if they did not do something wrong, they have the right to go their own way and not get involved with the issue.
I know, it's just like, what's his name? George
Yeah.
R. Martin.
Yeah.
He got involved in it, which he should have never done, because you know what? He could
Exactly.
have just left it alone and ignored it, because it's an issue. It's a sensitive issue with the whole sad puppies thing. It wasn't the fact that people were kind of surprised by what was going on with the Hugo Awards. After reading some of the awards thing, I was like reading one of the stories that got nominated, and I was like reading it, going like, this story is not sci-fi. It's basically Jacques Cousteau raping a dinosaur story.
Well, the thing is
I want to read it now.
I mean, why is there not a picture? I think I need some art of this on my wall.
Yeah, you can probably. I think it was like one of the old tweets that I was like reading one of the stories. It was like reading this chick's story about falling in love with a dinosaur.
I want a movie. I want a movie.
Jacques Cousteau fucking raping a dinosaur.
the fucked up thing about the Hugo Awards is, let's admit it, for the last several years they have been owned and the property of Tor Books. Tor Books got the nominations. Tor Books spread the money around. Tor Books got their fucking awards so they could slap it on the cover. It was wholly owned by Tor Books. And then John Scalzi has the balls to jump up and yell, "This isn't fair. People are fucking coming up with lists of books." Well, that's pretty much what he did. Especially when you get the fact that Old Man's War started out as a fucking serial that he put on his website, and then he's complaining that other people are just jumped up blog posts. How fucking dare he? Who the fuck does he think he is?
That's true. It's
No,
like,
I'm pretty invested in
One thing I want to
go ahead.
One thing I want to add about the whole Rooster Teeth thing is I'm not even necessarily mad that they've taken the stance that they have. It's just more of a disappointing thing. I mean, you look at all these people. I mean, we all, in a sense, we all look up to these people to a certain extent, and we expect them to take a side. Whether it's Rooster Teeth, the company, Markiplier, PewDiePie, whatever the person you're looking up to as to an extent, you expect them to take a side, and it's kind of disappointing to see that they just don't talk about it. Or when they do talk about it, they talk about it very little.
I mean,
I'm actually one of the people who don't really have any idols or heroes in any of the gaming industry or any other related industries. I mean, I do have people that I enjoy their works, and I have companies that I enjoy the works from. But I know one of the early conversations or early points that I think somebody made in GamerGate was that they were like, "Oh well, what would your idols think of you being a hateful, misogynist person?" And I'm thinking, I don't have any idols, and I don't idolize anybody to that point. I'll do what I want. Thank you.
Well, here's one thing is,
I agree.
Despite what they might think, game devs and even characters in video games are not idols, are not heroes, okay? Because, I'm sorry, the fact that you sat behind a keyboard for 3,000 hours and programmed a fucking video character doesn't make him a hero because he is exactly what he was programmed to be. It doesn't make you a hero because you sat behind a keyboard. You want to look. You want to look at a hero. You want to get somebody to idolize.
I'm not.
Look at the fucking real world and get off your fucking ass and quit worshiping shit. No, just because you wrote Mass Effect doesn't make you a fucking hero. It makes you a writer, and honestly, a shitty one at that. Real heroes went out and did shit in the real fucking world. Rosa Parks, hero. And Audie Murphy, hero. Dude who fucking programmed Shepard, not a hero.
Yeah.
So don't ask me what would my heroes think. My hero, Audie Murphy, would be like, "What the fuck is this shit? Get a job."
See, I'm not even talking about like a hero. You look up to an extent at least, or you enjoy these people or whatever. But the bottom line is, you look at these people within the gaming industry, whether they're streamers, YouTubers, developers, or whatever, and you expect them to take a side, and you kind of feel disappointed when they don't, or they don't talk about it, whether it's because they're afraid or they simply don't want to, or whatever.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And I think that's a big part of it.
Personally, I believe that a few years ago, there was some heroes of the gaming industry. I mean, your Sid Meier or Richard Garriott or Peter Molyneux, people like that were the big names of the gaming industry. I think that lately all the so-called heroes lost their importance in
they're
gaming
rock
industry.
That's all.
Yeah, but I can think of a modern day rock star of gaming. I can come out with a name of someone who did something exceptional in the latest day. Companies, yes, but not the one hero, the one rock star.
Yeah. So do we want to move on? Yeah, I think we pretty much.
Hang on, I want to talk about that. I remember when the tweet came out, and the big tweet was basically, what would Mario and all those think about? And the funny thing, the first thing that struck me was exactly what they're fucking programmed to think, because they're not real. And you get these rock star personalities that think they're heroes. And oh, he's a hero who made the game. No, he's a fucking rock star, and unlike regular rock stars, he's not sucking up the drugs and banging teenage fucking groupies. He's just, he's a famous person. He's a rock star in the industry. I'm glad he's a rock star, but I'm not going to pattern my life off of him, and I'm not going to try to emulate him because I'm not a keyboard pounder for programming.
I don't want to emulate any of these people.
No. And to be honest, I don't think that any of them decided to be rock stars. Other people started idolizing them, but they usually don't stand up and say, "I'm a rock star," except Phil Fish.
Yeah, and I believe that maybe not in the development side or whatever, but I believe there are people in the gaming industry, like Mark or Felix or whatever, who I feel that they're okay to kind of idolize, because I mean they've cultivated such a massive following, and then they've turned around and they've actually done something with that following, and they've done all these helpful charity things, and I feel like those kind of people are okay to idolize. to an extent, obviously. I mean, you obviously don't want to go too far with it, but I feel like they're okay to idolize to an extent.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, you want people who have integrity, and
maybe I'm just
integrity is something that a lot of people don't have, unfortunately.
Maybe I'm just older and look for, idols and heroes in different places. I mean, I've got people I admire. Don't get me wrong. I have people I admire. I admire J.R.R. Tolkien. I admire David Weber. I admire Drake. I admire J.K. Rowling. Believe it or not, I admire J.K. Rowling because she did that shit. And I don't idolize people unless they really, really got it coming. And too many people are like, oh, I idolize, he's my idol. It's like, why? And when you ask them why, they stand there and look at you like a cow hit in the face with a bolt gun. I mean, I see no fucking awareness of what's going on. One of the guys at the slaughterhouse popped that cow with a bolt gun. But you ask, okay, so what is somebody that you feel is a hero? And they'll give you these fucking lines, and you're like, okay, what does that have to do with your idol? And once again, they stand there and stare at you. It boggles my mind that you have people that are like, oh, Zoe Quinn's a hero, Zoe Quinn's an idol. No, she's fucking not. She's propped up. She's propped up by fucking money. She's propped up by her rich arms-dealing boyfriend. She's fucking propped up by all this bullshit. She's not a hero. She didn't run into a fucking burning building and save fucking gaming. It just irritates me. It irritates the fuck out of me to hear people go, oh, they're heroic. Oh, they're your idols. What would your idols think? Fuck you, because my idol's a real person. And it pisses me off because I've seen all this. I've seen it on the internet as the internet's progressed since about the 1990s. Sonic is my idol. Mario is my hero. Bitch, get a real idol. Stop fucking worshiping video games and find somebody else to fucking respect. Because there's no reason to respect them. They didn't overcome. They didn't reach farther. They did exactly what they were programmed to do, and that was fucking it. Idolized the fucking dude who ran into fucking traffic to grab a kid out of the middle of the street because he probably pissed himself because he's a normal fucking human. Don't fucking talk to me about how.
I think it's funny. I think it's funny you mentioned Sonic. If you're gonna be stupid enough to idolize somebody within a video game, at least choose somebody better than Sonic. All he does is fucking run around and collect rings. What the fuck kind of job is that?
Well, that's because half these motherfuckers couldn't run 100 feet if you held a gun. They get about 10 feet in class wheezing and crying about their oppression and please use their right pronouns. Okay, I'm fucking tired of it. Buckle the fuck up. Buckle down and drive on and quit being a goddamn baby. You left mama's house. It's time to grow the fuck up.
Yep.
Also,
there's something brewing right now on 8chan. There's a new operation called Operation Calgary Expo. They're going to be sending a lot of emails to the sponsors, the
they
politicians.
been doing that since, like, yesterday?
Yes, this shit's going down.
Good.
Yeah.
I am okay with that, but I think it should be something more individual than GamerGate, in the sense that GamerGate is, again, about journalistic integrity, and this is basically not.
I know.
But see, I disagree.
I'm completely okay with that. I'm not saying it shouldn't happen. It should happen, absolutely. Just don't mix the two of them. That's what I'm saying.
See, we're getting to a point in the movement where it's more than just about journalistic ethics, and I feel like it's at a crossroads because, I mean, there are people who want to cross that threshold, and then there are other people who don't want to cross that threshold.
Exactly. The reason I'm saying this is because there are a lot of people who want to see GamerGate do something else, to expand and do other things, etc. And it's okay in theory, okay, but not everybody agrees on what we should move to next. And I don't want to see GamerGate destroy itself and split before we ended what we started. Just that.
Especially the whole being offended issue.
Why are we talking about leaving the battlefield when the infantry's still engaged?
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
see,
I don't want
in my
a
opinion,
second front while the first is still engaged.
I don't see this as something that ever really truly ends, though. I don't think that there's ever going to be a time where we don't have to keep fighting for video game ethics.
Yeah.
But I believe that at a certain point we're going to have to tackle more than just that.
Yeah, but I believe we should do it with possibly a new hashtag. The same people, maybe 100% of the same people, but we want to use Expogate, we want to use something like that. I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. But I feel if we start to go in random directions,
I want to throw some.
everybody will push to its own angle, and we start fighting on the angle that are variable and the angle that are not, and we will split up.
I want to throw something in here. The idea that the battle has been won and we can move off is the most naive shit I have ever seen. You do not give up just because the enemy has retreated a little bit. You do not give up because the enemy said, please don't hurt us anymore. You burn and salt the fucking ground. You don't give up. You don't let them retreat. You follow any route until you decimated them. Saying, oh, we're winning, so let's move on to other areas, is how you fucking lose. And that's just, we're winning so we can quit.
Because
yes and no. I mean, I agree. We have not.
Oh, and saying you isn't applying to anybody in this room or any of our audience.
No, okay, sure. I mean, I agree. We didn't win. We are still fighting for it. There is no winner here. Not yet, at least. I do not believe in the we should decimate them, we should give no quarter or something like that. I do believe they might surrender, and I will accept their surrender. I mean, I will accept them retreating everything they said, starting to really follow an ethical policy, and doing all the thing right. I do not believe in the burn everything to the fucking ground and salt the earth.
Why not? They have called us ISIS.
I will accept the surrender. I'll accept the surrender. If they want to surrender, I'll let them surrender, but I'm still going to burn and salt the fucking earth. Because I'm not going to give them any fucking fortifications to come back to. I'm not going to give them, oh, see, they knew we were right, so we just quit fighting them because first you don't fight, No, you fucking keep up until you fucking won.
But you know, nobody else is suggesting that we quit the front we're at. But exactly. I think we can handle more than one issue at a time. We are a large group of people, and
we have been.
Yeah, we have been for a long time now, and we can take on more than one issue at once. So why not?
All I'm saying is with a different hashtag.
But we don't need a different hashtag.
I mean, with something that people in GamerGate can decide if they want to support or not. Not something that they are co-opted without consent.
You don't have to agree with everything in the GamerGate hashtag.
For the last fucking year and a half, I didn't need somebody from GamerGate to tell me to fucking do it. Bring up the hashtag. If I'm interested in it, I'm supporting it. If I'm not, I'm not gonna, even if you tell me to. Because I don't fucking follow along with what I'm fucking told. I'm not in the army anymore. I don't fucking have to.
Exactly. So that's exactly why we don't need a different hashtag. And we fought so long to hold on to our hashtag and keep it intact that I think if we tried to use a different hashtag, that would be what fractures us. not just taking on more than one issue.
This is my problem.
It depends on what the issue is.
Exactly. It depends on what the issue is. I mean, I agree with Calgary Expo. Okay? I know for a fact that there are people in GamerGate who have a lot of issue on their mind, and I do not agree in all of them. But I'm okay with being part of GamerGate because GamerGate is about gaming journalism, and I'm okay with that. I do not agree 100% with everybody, but I don't have to because GamerGate is not about every single personal crusade. The personal crusades are your own. I agree
Yeah,
with
it's what
Calgary
we
X.
choose to fight with.
Exactly. I agree with Calgary Expo, but I'm not sure I will agree with the next one and the one after that. And I don't want to have
But you don't have
GamerGate
to
Yeah.
agree.
I had
That's the
there
beauty
were
of it.
some issues. I understand that some people had issues with charities that we were running, and it's like some people had their disagreements about the charities. Like we were spreading too thin on charities. Like we were running charities from
Well,
from
yeah,
November to December to January. And
yeah.
I'm pretty sure people were kind of upset about that, trying to give money to left and right. It's like even to whatchamacallit, GoFundMe campaigns. Like someone wanted to buy a PlayStation 4, and I'm like, no. Like,
Well,
God.
when it comes to charities and GoFundmes and those things in general, I mean,
Yeah, it's personal.
Yeah, like your money is your money. You're going to throw your money wherever you think your money is best spent. And a lot of the people who fund the Zoes and the Anitas and the Briannas, they do it because they feel that their money, that if they support these people, that they're somehow validated in some big circle of life sort of scenario, and that's fine with them. A fool and their money is easily parted. But when it comes to the money I want to spend on things related to the gaming industry, yeah, I'll donate a few dollars. In fact, I do donate money to charity every year. I donate to Child's Play, all the time.
Sorry. Is the stream still going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I must have a problem myself. I don't see it in YouTube.
Just
Okay,
reload it.
gone.
Reload it.
Yeah.
Well, let's try to move on. We can talk about this more often because it's a huge topic. Yeah. So Jim Sterling, our favorite Patreon
Piece of shit.
has gone full Macintosh with his Ask FM thing.
I assume from that cackle that there was something awesome being said next.
Let me read it. Somebody asked, how do you feel about Anita Sarkeesian being named one of Time Magazine's top 100 most influential people of the year? Wesley Crusher even did a write-up for her. Heart. And good for her, says Jim Sterling says. Good for her, really. She's accomplishing shit I could only dream of. And we can't argue people haven't tried to make her pay for every ounce of it. So yeah, well done her.
He can only dream of having a vagina, so hey.
That's pretty good.
What the fuck is he doing?
To be honest, I understand someone who would dream to have the same kind of attention and protection in a certain sense that Anita has. She can say whatever she wants, and she has an army to protect her. It's pretty big. I mean,
yeah, not to backtrack back to the Anita discussion I think we had earlier, but in terms of Jim Sterling, I mean, I don't really know much about him because I don't think I've ever really watched anything of his.
Me neither.
And I don't really know much about the guy in general, but I mean, You know, to say she's accomplishing shit I can only dream of, like that statement alone is just sort of like, well, what did you expect to accomplish of hers in the first place? I mean, were you going to take up the golden mantle of feminism? Because, you know, I don't think any guy is going to do that reasonably very well in the first place.
Well, Jonathan McIntosh is.
Well,
Yes, when you have your hand in a puppet all day. Oh wait, I didn't say that. Yeah, good job for Macintosh for transforming a marketing woman there.
Yeah. But she's still a marketing woman.
I remember I was watching one of those videos that she had, I think from like way back when she was like part of that marketing cabal or whatever that was, the one where she was doing some scheme thing, or I forget what it was called.
Telemarketing.
Yeah, the telemarketing thing. I remember looking at that, and like my first reaction was she has changed her appearance a lot since then.
Yeah.
She looked all disheveled and like almost like she just got out of bed, you know, really quickly, and was just like, and now we're going to talk to you about all these little marketing things we have. Billy Mays here.
I think they need to really they try so hard to step it up with this whole narrative thing, and it's like you're not hiding anything. You're trying so hard to hide it, but you can't.
No, what they're effectively doing is they're putting their fingers in theirs and going la 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 la. I can't hear
pretty
you.
much.
So.
Especially the funny thing about it is that they also, when they try to do that whole cosplay consent thing, when they replace that whole convention thing, I don't mind taking pictures, at least trying to ask permission first before I take pictures.
Yeah.
Being respectful and all, but damn, do they always got to be assholes about that issue? Jeez.
Yeah.
And then they bring up the whole cosplay is not consent for rape thing, and I'm like,
what?
Yeah, that's their campaign right now at the conventions.
I swear to God, if I see that shit when I go to Youmacon this year, I'm fucking done.
But
yeah, because they've been doing that at conventions lately, and they also got SJW panels as well. Like there was this one called White Cis Male.
Oh.
Yeah.
I swear to God, if they fucking ruin Youmacon,
Well, here's the thing: is the cosplay is not consent thing. I can understand because half of these fucking idiots that go up there don't understand. Hey, quit touching that girl. You know, they really don't. Because I've seen it. I had a booth babe once for one of my products, and people complained because she was wearing coveralls, and a fucking catcher's mask because that was the costume that the character wore, and they still wanted to fucking touch on her and grab her ass, and these idiots did not understand. Touch her again, I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face in the bathroom. And so they do that. They do, you know, the cosplay is not consent to keep these fucking creepy bastards who would be creepy bastards in or out of a con and have nothing to do with their gamers. They're just creepy fucks.
Yeah, that's true because I volunteered at conventions before, and the only thing we do in Texas is that we tell young 14-year-old girls if they dress way too revealing, we have to tell them to change. Or kick them out of the convention if they don't have like a hotel or something. Because sometimes some of these girls can wear some revealing costumes and we have to tell them, look, your costume is too revealing, can you go change please? Or possibly change or modify your costume to censor your cleavage or something like that.
Well, that sounds like some victim blaming there.
Yeah, I hate doing it. One time I had to go. I had to tell a girl to tell another girl to change because she was wearing a Luffy costume with a vest, but bare chested. She wasn't wearing the Luffy. You know Luffy from One Piece?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was wearing a vest, but she had her bare chest exposed, and her tatas were like huge. I had to freaking tell a girl to tell her to change because I was like, I don't want to say anything to her. Can you please tell her to go change immediately?
See that's just.
I felt uncomfortable telling her that because she was, and I found out this girl was 14 years old.
Well, to be honest, the whole issue about nudity is way downplayed here in Europe. Here is not a big thing. It's not a big thing.
The nudity and the sexuality is not a problem. The problem are these creepy motherfuckers who are just as creepy everywhere else in their life, and it has nothing to do with the fact they're gamers. It has to do with they're just creepy fucking gamers.
Yeah, there are those that go to conventions.
I want to include women in this too.
Raves.
I've seen guys dressed up in hot fucking costumes, and women grab on him. I mean, I know a dude that left, went out to his hotel room, changed out of his costume, because so many women reached into his thong and grabbed his balls that he had a fucking stomach ache.
Wow.
So,
yeah, I know Mr. Epsilon encountered that when he was playing his Deadpool costume.
But I mean, it's so hard to understand where the fault is in that case. I mean, if you can't keep your hands to yourself, you are at fault. It's simple as that. I do not understand this whole obsession about the human body. The human body is something natural. It's nothing strange. It's nothing obscene. It's nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah, because they've been
to quote
doing
Helen
this.
Lovejoy, someone please think of the children.
I know.
What is the problem with the children?
I honestly hate volunteering, especially when you do the raves. It's just ridiculous.
Oh God, yes.
The raves are freaking bad because you see kids dropping. I remember one time a kid dropped a weapon down on the floor. I picked it up and the kid was looking for it, and I was like, I had to give it to the lady to have them explain the issue about bringing weapons into the freaking convent at a rave.
Yeah,
it was
very
educational, but also interesting.
Yeah, perhaps
like
that are
what are we talking about here? A gun?
I think we're horribly off topic.
Safe spaces.
Okay, so what's going on right now? It just came back.
Okay. Andrew, you probably want to get this back on track here.
Yeah, let's go back on track.
So what topic are we covering? I just jumped in.
Well, we can move on to the next topic.
Well, I wanted to mention something on the Jimquisition here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I followed him early on in his career, and I watched something which I've always called buying into your own press. And slowly but surely over the years, he bought into his own press. I like this thing where he was looking at indie games on Steam and had the balls to say it was crap. But then he jumped on the feminism bandwagon hard, and he really didn't give a fuck about his audience, and he lost his position at The Escapist, and he blames everybody but his own mouth for it. And now he's talking about, oh, I wish I could have done what Anita did. Well, he had the platform. If he hadn't come out swinging like an asshole, he could have done more than she's done for how video games are done. He could have kept calling out these shitty indie games they charge us $14 for and take the money. He could have kept having a major effect in the gaming industry. But because he wanted to run his fucking mouth, attack his audience, alienate people, call people shitheads, and just basically act like an entitled asshole who bought into his own press with that "thank God for me," he made it so that now he can't have any effect on gaming except for his own little clique, and he ruined it for himself. And he still tried to blame everybody else but his own fucking mouth. So when he puts, oh, I wish I could have done what Anita Sarkeesian did, he could have. He could have had an effect, but he had to be an asshole. So now nobody thinks anything for him.
One thing I'd like to say about Jim Sterling, and I don't know if this is just me, But I watched one of his videos, and I'm not sure. Does he always do like the thing where he's standing in front of a podium or whatever?
Yeah. That's his
Is it just me, or does he look like a fucking Nazi when he's doing that shit? Though he's wearing like the big fucking trench coat, and he's got the like red background and shit. And it's like, what the hell is this shit?
He
Why
thinks
am I watching this?
He always tries to dress up in a trench coat.
Yeah.
It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. I mean, it's showmanship. Whatever you want, it's not important.
Really stupid looking gimmick to me.
Yeah,
But
okay.
that's just my thoughts.
Just a gimmick. I mean, it's nothing special.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
let's move on
what's-
to
So did you guys
next topic.
talk about Time Magazine yet? Did you already cover
Yeah.
that?
We talked about it, but we're
Yeah.
going to talk about the next. If you look at the Stop Hate hashtag, it's getting hijacked.
By
And,
who? By us?
But yeah, by us. Calgary Expo is now in it. GamerGate, not your shield. ExpoGate, Expo Equality. I mean, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I kind of retweeted the whole Facebook thing from the photographer who took pictures of Zoe Quinn back in the days. And I showed the Facebook, and everyone so far is retweeting that one. Keep doing it, guys. Keep doing it, and people will read the message.
Yeah. I can't think of a single hashtag as of late that we haven't basically hijacked or stolen. And it's really quite hilarious.
It's
I mean,
a
it's
good
it shows
hashtag, and,
it shows
it
the
shouldn't be
ability.
under
It
the
shows how
controls.
much we have. Like we have the ability to take over all these hashtags pretty much entirely, and co-opt them into our own hashtags, and it really shows how strong we are as a group.
But don't you understand?
But
Don't you
at least
understand?
at least we didn't destroy Make It Happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We weren't the ones responsible for Make It Happy. That was on Gawker's thing.
And they thought it
If
was
they
funny.
would have wrote blaming us for it, they would have got away with it.
Now, the thing is about that Stop Hate, what I loved is it showed all these instances of doxing where anti-Gamergate talked about how they should be allowed to stab a 10-year-old boy. They showed, all these people who were big names, including people who were at that congressional committee luncheon, because it was a luncheon, it wasn't anything major
Watch
political.
this. You asked to watch this, now watch it.
That the majority of the hate and the really nasty shit comes from their side.
Yeah.
So the real question is, how is that Stop Gamergate 2014 tag doing for them?
It failed miserably.
I think it's
still
doing pretty
here.
well,
It's
Yeah.
April of
2015.
It's April of 2015, so it's April 18th, 2015. What do you guys think?
Yeah, especially the
I
other
think it'll get to
tag
2016
that I
without
remember
any
they try to
problems.
attempt. I stand with butts tag. Remember that one?
Who did that? I want to know who did that.
I
that
don't
was
remember.
Randy Harper.
Was it?
Oh
Yeah,
man, Randy
I thought it was
Harper.
somebody else.
Yeah, I stand with butts tag because the fact that when the release of the Edie page for Sarah Butts happened, everyone was freaking out about it.
No.
Why?
I don't know how
Everyone
anybody can
found
stand
out
with
about
butts, but
Sarah
it's just
Butts,
me.
and it was so ridiculous that Sarah Butts just disappeared for a while.
And then she come back.
And then she came back, which is so funny
Well,
because
she's
everyone's like, "I stand with butts, I stand with butts," and we were like, they were just posting butts.
I think the most hilarious thing about those I stand with X tags was that anybody actually could post those with a straight face. Like I stand for butts, seriously. Like how can you possibly put that on your Twitter account and not just want to scrub yourself down with gasoline afterwards?
Because they didn't realize what's going on, because we try to tell people this person is a pedophile and
She
is
is a
trying
pedo.
to hijack
Sarah
trying to frame
Butts
us
is
as
a pedophile.
pedophiles
I'm not giving a
is a
label to
hypocrite.
Butts. All I'm saying is Butts is. I'm not giving a label to Butts. I'm not giving a first name nor a title for him. It's just or her. It's Butts. It's Butts. That's all I call it. It's Butts.
Yeah, because she butt into
Don't
GamerGate
say
for a while.
Just say
for a long
Butts
while.
butted to GamerGate. Just say Butts. Treat it like it's not even a because out of how Sarah Butts has been acting for the longest time, what Sarah Butts has been saying.
Because they were trying to tell us,
that
this person was a pedophile and trying to accuse everyone in GamerGate as pedophiles and rapists, when it turns out Sarah is a hypocrite.
Oh, and Sarah is abandoning that Twitter account in order to make a new one from the look. I'd say from the looks of it, because there's no one that spastically tweets like a drunken monkey on Twitter that long can let her account go that quiet without having.
Can I say something a little bit controversial here? I really don't care if she's a pedophile. I mean, it's not the issue. If Charles Manson comes up and talks about Gamergate, pro or anti, I don't care if he's Charles Manson and killed a lot of people. I care for what he says. The same with Sarah Butts. Sarah Butts, the problem is not that she's a pedophile. Being a pedophile has nothing to do with Gamergate. No pro, no anti.
I don't think anyone here would really disagree with you on that. I think it's more the fact that she was being a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah, she was calling us a pedophile, and that's why
that is the problem.
Pedophiles and rapists, and it turns out they have a supporter on their side that was a rapist.
Yes.
Who cares?
Hey, let JT continue, okay? JT
Let's put it this way. They were labeling us such and such for a long while. And
it's stupid.
What pissed off people was that they tried to narrate this whole story that we're worse people. And the fact is, they don't realize when we try to tell them, well, what about Sarah? What about? They don't believe it.
Yeah. No, I agree. What I'm saying is
absolutely when you're trying to legislate and tell me about my own morals and what's ethical, your morals count. You don't get to be an immoral motherfucker snorting, selling your kids fucking dogs, lying, raping people, covering up rapes, and telling me I'm the immoral one. Hey, go jump in a fucking hole.
That's why it's important, okay?
The fact that they have that's
right there. That right there is why this is all important, okay? Don't say that this is not important. This is important because they tried calling us that. If you want to do the moral campaign, you have to actually have morals of your own to stand behind. You have to be moral. You have to live by the morals that you're trying to throw upon other people. But Sarah Butts isn't. Randy Harper isn't. Quinn, Anita Sarkeesian, they're not.
It's
Josh McIntosh, Chu. They're
it's
not.
Capital I integrity.
Yeah, if I can go out of gaming here, a perfect example of the hypocrisy that we're seeing emulated from these people. If you guys live in America, then you probably know who Shannon Watts is. She's the person behind Moms Demand Action, who wants basically to take guns away from everybody in America, and yet she goes around with armed guard everywhere she goes.
Yes.
Here's another. Oral Roberts, who did all this shit talking, and Pat Robertson, who did all this shit talking about morals, were fucking underage hookers on the side. You don't get to lecture me about morals when you're a disgusting person who shouldn't even be allowed to go out the game.
And this is the point of why this is important.
People who were bitching about tabletop gaming in the 80s and video games in the 90s, who later turned out to like to stick their dick in people. And it's the exact same thing with, you can't judge me by my past actions. You can't dead name me. You can't bring up something that happened a year ago. Yes, we can, because you fucking did it. And when you're standing there telling me I'm a shitty person,
pretty much.
Even she agrees.
What I was trying to say is that if you are immoral, is one thing, and of course you have to be called out for it. The problem with Sarbatz is that everything she say is a lie. That's the problem. That's the
'Cause that's
central
all they know
problem.
how to say. They know how to say is lies. I mean, when you've started lying the first time, the second time, the third time, you just keep building up on those lies because at that point
Exactly.
you've spun those wheels so far that there are no brakes. This isn't stopping. The ride never ends.
Choo choo, motherfucker.
Yes.
Okay. Next topic.
Yeah, do we want to move on?
Yes.
I believe this is the last topic. Let me mark it in the.
Yeah, I found
Can I say something after we're done
play
with it?
footage of the game Afterlife Empire came out.
There we go. I've marked it. The last topic is Cara Allison again. She wrote about Gone Home 6 times. And she got financial.
How do you write about Gone Home the second time? Much less 6.
Could you guys get my review? I'm going to give you guys my quick review on Gone Home. The game has good atmospheric elements. You could basically click on everything, but there's no challenge to it. It's incredibly short. All you have to do is just walk upstairs, go to the attic, get the attic key, go to the attic, go down to the basement, and basically finish the game. That's how you play Gone Home. It's nothing.
That's why
it is the shortest game possible.
Exactly. It's why a review should have longevity score. Longevity score 0. Well, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I played the Stanley Parable a few months back, and it's actually a really good game. Like it's not really. I mean, obviously you don't really do anything other than just running or walking. I mean, there's very little interaction, but I mean, I kind of put it in the same breath as I put like Myst and the Journeyman Project and games back in the 90s, where you basically moved around and interacted.
But those games had challenge to them. Gone Home has no challenge. All you have to do is just find the
I haven't played it.
freaking key to the attic and just get up there.
To find out you're a lesbian?
Find out that your little sister's lesbian. She ran off with their friend. Spoilers. Right. Actually, no. This isn't spoiler. The game definitely deserves to be spoiled. All it is just you're this girl that comes back from Europe or comes back from across the ocean. She goes to the house and her sister leaves these notes from her diary around and says, "This would be fun, wouldn't it?" No, it freaking will not be. You walk around the house and stuff like that. It's like a 8-bedroom house or something like that. It's a really big house, and you just walk around through it.
This will be fun, she said. Walking through the house, she said.
Interact with the environments. You find secret passages, which are cool just for 1 second. It's pretty cool at one time. And then after all this, after you get all of this stuff done, it just says, me and my girlfriend who joined up with the army and left, she went desertion and they ran off together like that. And it's just two lesbian sisters. And it's just two lesbian girls that just ran up. Yes.
Basically,
that's all it shows.
From your sister that are reading a diary, and you're basically finding out she's a lesbian.
Yeah, and the fact that she ran off with her little girlfriend.
I don't object to the game. They put a lot of effort. They did a lot of good modeling. What I objected to is the way it was advertised. It was advertised to me as survival horror. Okay, I've got lesbian sisters. About lesbian sisters, except for when they hit you in the back of the fucking head. Okay, lesbian sisters aren't scary, and I'm sorry that these indie people think that the rest of the world is so out of touch we've never even heard of a lesbian before, but a lot of people in America have lesbian daughters, lesbian sisters, lesbian friends. Lesbians are scary.
I have lesbian coworkers.
Lesbian runs away to me as survival horror. Okay?
So,
that does. You make a good point about that.
To be a survival horror, shouldn't you have at least the risk of dying?
Yeah,
You know what?
Yeah.
Why
You know
are
what?
you
I
surviving?
I
if you
get
won't
your
die?
point.
If that's the case, then every time I play a racing game, it's pretty much survival horror.
No, but
Why would they do this as they promote this as a survival
let me
horror? You
tell
know
you
what's so
somehow
funny?
why
Oh my
Venus
god,
made
my
this.
sister's a lesbian. Dun dun dun.
Most of the reviews on here are negative, even though it says mostly positive reviews. All the top, most helpful ones are negative on the Steam page. These are like people that put like 3.5 hours into the game.
I'll tell you one thing. Have you ever seen the picture of the developers with their fucking trophy? Holy fucking shit. Talk about fucking hipster.jpg. These are Portland hipsters all the way with the chick.
They're San Francisco hipsters. Portland hipsters aren't social justice warriors. Portland is a good town. San Francisco.
So people will run over with a car, I think. But holy shit, are they looking at you like we are too cool for you in this award? And they've got books behind them that they've never read, and they've obviously this thing was a fucking photo op. But fucking Christ. Don't act like you're the second coming of gaming when you fucking made a game about a lesbian sister, which, you know, is kind of neat, but I'm not paying $15 for survival.
Yeah, and the only game they ever made here on Steam is called Gone Home. Nothing else is on here for Fulbright Company. So you're...
You know what?
Yeah, Polygon gave it a 10 out of 10. Let me see what they said. I never expected to see myself or such a strong reflection of myself
Wait, they
in
gave
my
it a
own
10
life
out of
in a
10?
video game.
Yeah, they gave it a 10
one
out
of their
10.
highest scores. Giant Bomb gave it a 5 out of 5.
I don't even.
Epic, personal, and revolutionary. New York Times says Gone Home is
Polygon
the
reviewed
greatest
that?
game love story ever told. It's not a freaking love story, you dumbasses. It's not an epic, personal, and revolutionary game. The story was taken from a 13-year-old girl, a demented 13-year-old girl's diary. This isn't expertly written. These dumbass hipsters do not know what they're talking about.
Yeah, because basically they're telling a tale. You're basically finding clues to find a story about a girl who's in love with another girl, and basically they run away together.
Yes.
That's
Which is
fine. It's considered. I consider a romance story, not a.
Which is fine. I mean, you know, if that's the game, that's the game.
Oh,
and I could see a score of like 7 or 8, but
this
10?
is what the users defined it. Here are the user definitions for it. The people that defined it: walk-in simulator, short, indie, exploration. That's it. And that's basically what it is a walking simulator. It's short. It's definitely an indie game because it's shittily made and it's trying to move pizza boxes out of the way to find a key or whatever, a rubber duck or something to get a key to the house. Yeah.
I want you to look at this picture. I want you to look at this picture that I just posted a link to. And you will see what I fucking mean by the most pretentious hipster douches on the face of the
Jesus,
fucking...
what the hell is this?
Oh my god.
They look like freaking
No. What in the actual hell is this?
Oh my god.
Wait.
If I was back in high school, I would have kicked their butts.
That is them posing with their Spike fucking award. And this is exactly what pissed me off. Is number one, it was sold to me under false pretenses. Number two, this is how they acted in their fucking interviews, exactly captured in this fucking picture.
I'm looking at the title of the book behind it.
They look like freaking Nazis when they pose like that.
Yeah, they do look like Nazis.
Yeah.
I want to know if they actually read Kent's Mechanical Engineering Handbook that's back there.
She looks like some prostitute that would go to see Adolf Hitler.
My response to that picture is, in the words of Mr. Medicare.
Oh my god, they don't even know what those books are even about, do they?
Well, considering it says Mechanical Engineering Handbook on it, I'm going to say they don't.
You know what? Those are probably just like cardboard decorations.
They're like books they bought for show. You know, that's like let's buy all these books and make sure they're big and on a bunch of different
those
subjects.
alcohol right over there. They're probably drinking that when they're trying to write the story. That's why there's very little alcohol in any of those bottles.
Which award
would
was
have
this
been
anyway?
drunk.
Somebody reverse Google imaged it to show that I think that's either, I can't remember if it's the one that's the hipster tavern or if it's the one that it's where they do all these shoots for the Spike Awards and all that to make them look, cool. But yeah, I don't think it's these books.
Is this taking place is this in San Francisco? This would make a lot of sense.
I think it's Portland.
It is? I've never, out of all the people I've known in Portland, none of them act like those.
And I mean,
all the hipsters I know from Portland.
Both of them are too good to smile for the award, and both of them are too good to look even halfway grateful. She's looking at you like it's about time you recognize my...
Okay, well, you should get back on topic now, but in plain sight, Gone Home is a terrible game made by two shitty douchebags.
Well, this is on topic, to be honest, because it's Gone Home and Cara Allison. I mean...
Go ahead, Jack, say it.
I would have fucking played it. I would have fucking played it if they would have advertised it like it would, because I would have wanted... I like the modeling, I love the detail, I like...
Is there any way I could get rid of... Is there any way I could give away games?
No, I've tried.
I was gonna track you down on Steam and give you Gone Home.
There was Operation. I forgot that one operation that Brett did. He gave away games last time, and he gave away Gone Home to everybody.
I managed to get my money back because I said this was given to me as survival horror, and it was sold to me under false pretenses, and it was false.
Well, you could sue them for that too if that was a false advertisement.
Because it was like discover the horror within your own home and all that shit. And I was like, oh cool, and I opened this, I'm fucking going through there thinking at any second I'm gonna get fucking jumped. And no, it's basically about my sister joining the military. Hooray!
Your sister going into the military, then leaving the military to fall in love with another woman.
Girlfriend. It's a sister's girlfriend with your mother.
My sister. Oh, big fucking deal. My sister joined the fucking army. This is not fucking groundbreaking. This is not astonishing. This is real fucking life. Where's a monster? Where's something startling? Where's a good reason for that? There was nothing good about this fucking game that was astonishing or groundbreaking.
And what
was excellent. The environment was excellent. It wasn't fucking groundbreaking.
Yeah, there was. The sister didn't turn into like a two-headed monster that tried to kill you.
I
That's
thought,
what I was hoping for. I was just saying.
I thought I was supposed to track. I got to the end. I thought, hey,
is this
one
bad
at a
for me?
time. One at a time.
Go right ahead.
I thought at the end of it that, hey, I was startled when I realized that was all this to the game. I thought I was in the first chapter where I find out that my little sister ran off with a predator, and now I've got to hunt her because she's supernatural. I thought it was amazing. And this is the end of the fucking game? This is it? This is my survival I did in an hour and a half? Holy shit, I bought Condemned for $1.50 at a pawn shop, and it lasted longer than that.
Oh, I'm looking for Gone Home mods, but I'm looking for Gone Home mods to see if they could add new things to
There's
it.
There's a Doom mod that's called Gone Home.
You know what I was hoping for? This is bad for me to say, but I tried digging all throughout the house. So, I hope I find a body. Is that bad for me to say? I was hoping I'd find a body.
What was that?
Much more interesting.
What was that one like survival horror-ish type game? It was where you play as like a little kid or something.
Among the Sleep.
Yeah, that.
Among the Sleep.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Norwegian. That's because I know. That's why I know all this. Because the press have hyped the fuck out of it because there aren't a lot of Norwegian developers. So. So what do you think of her, Cara Allison, actually not disclosing this shit?
I'm still hung up over the 6 reviews thing. How do you write about this 6 times?
No, articles. It's 6 articles.
6 articles, right.
Yeah.
Oh my god, please tell me that this is true.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, she didn't disclose that she was friends.
Holy shit, yes! I hope this is real. I really hope this is real. I'll put it in the comments on the chat in our group chat. Oh man, I hope this is 100% real. Jack, you have to see this. It's called Gun Home. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, not disclosing links. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, how many other people haven't disclosed their connections, especially with indie gaming? I mean, indie gaming is pretty much the reason we're in all this mess to begin with, pretty much, because they all think that they operate as some sort of, AA franchise now. I mean, to coin a better term, it's if they can't be AAA, they're sure as hell going to be AA at this point. And not even like the good AA like baseball sort of thing, like the.
Well, AA used to be THQ, A or AA.
Oh yeah.
So the whole market of AA and A is gone.
Yeah, and it's replaced by.
I'll support an indie game that comes right out and says, "Hey, buy this so I can buy Hooker's Coke and work on my game when I'm sober." I'll support that. I won't support an indie.
Well, at least they're being honest.
If I want somebody to preach at me like these guys do, I'll go down to 7-Eleven and listen to that weird guy with the tinfoil hat that's always ranting and raving about this. I mean, don't preach to me. Sell me a fucking game I want to play. If I want something preachy, I'll open the Bible.
Yes.
But if you're going to be an indie guy and tell me, look, man, I need why don't you pre-order my game so I can afford my wife's new tits and a hooker to have a threesome with, and by the way, I'll work on this game when I'm done with the threesome, I might throw him $10.
I'm game. I mean, those people at least are honest. I mean, they'll tell you what they actually feel, and I mean, anybody who comes out with full honesty in this industry anymore is probably worth your money because you'll probably get the experience that they're advertising.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the fuck out of some mouth. I love the hell out of some Kerbal Space Program. Any of you who have been there and listened to me high and drunk trying to build a rocket that doesn't smash itself into the ground knows this. I mean,
that'd be great.
It's taken like a year and a half to get where it is, but they were honest. Don't fucking fuck me in the ass and tell me that I'm having sex. No, don't fuck me in the ass. Don't give me a reach around and tell me I'm on a roller coaster. No, be honest. And if you didn't make the funding, if you only collected $200,000 and you did your damnedest, then say that, because I can accept that I threw $10 to you and you didn't make it. It's no other difference than giving your buddy $10 to try to go to California to bang Mercedes and he doesn't do it. Okay, it happens. But
you guys started watching a video
for not supporting your shitty fucking game about lesbians, because the story mode should not be like, oh my god, lesbians. It should be, oh my god, that cannibal ate those lesbians.
Yeah, I finished watching it, Leo. That was amazing shit right there.
Yes,
I would buy that.
Don't you guys wish Gun Home? I paid $20 for that. I would pay $20 for Gun Home.
I would buy Gun Home just to buy the Gun Home.
I would pay $5.
I mean, if Gun Home is the first chapter in what cannibal cult killed my sister and her girlfriend, and even if I didn't have a single gun, I played Love Portal. I played games where you've got to run away because you don't have any fighting skills. If it had been this teenage boy trying to find out who killed his fucking relatives, and if those bad guys got near you, you're dead, I would probably still be playing it today.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, and that's what pissed me off. And then I find out, I actually had somebody said, well, if you didn't like the game, you're just a misogynist and homophobic. It's like, bitch, I'm not homophobic. That's the worst lesbian coming out story I ever read. I went into that fucking thing, and at the end of it, they go, yeah, but you're still homophobic.
Here's an image of the Prepare to Die edition of Gone Home.
Well, and what it is it comes back around to, I think, one of Brianna Wu's arguments about her game, and that she designed it with this whole mindset of, well, I'm designing a game that women and other people who aren't necessarily hardcore gamers can play, and that's fine. I mean, there are plenty of games out there for people who don't want a hardcore gaming experience. But I mean, like, my wife will play. She plays a lot of mobile games. I can't pay attention to mobile games to save my life, but she'll play a lot of mobile games. But then she can pick up and play Borderlands without a problem. I mean, and I think it was Hat's stream with Woo that I was listening to in the car once, and like she was talking about how like she designed a lot of the game mechanics in her game to be friendly for people who don't necessarily want to do a bunch of different things to control what's going on. And again, that's fine. I mean, some of the best innovative games we've seen in the last decade have come from simplistic controls and different styles of like the Wii, all the Wii games and the Wiimote, and a lot of the touch games on Android and iOS. Plenty of innovation there. But to her problem is, and I'm sure it's probably the problem with Gone Home and many other indie games, is that they try to inflate their sense of expectations of their games after it's been released and it's been judged, and people say, well, this isn't what I expected. Then they double back and go, well, your expectations should have been up here with me and everybody else who supports this, my friends. No, my expectations are not going to be anywhere near yours, because even if I'm not a hardcore gamer, I still am expecting more. It's that quote from Malcolm in the Middle: I expected nothing, and yet I'm still disappointed.
Let me get a opinion on here real quick, guys. So what we have is these guys who are doing these indie games that, number one, they think that their experiences are so outside the norm with everybody else because they don't know what it's like to be outside of their little hug box. They think, oh, we're going to shock them with gay, trans, blah, 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 whatever. I don't care what the fuck who the character's fucking or if he wears a dress or not. I care about the plot. I care about the story. They are using identity politics as a fucking replacement for plot, pacing, characterization, and everything else you need to write a decent fucking story, and then telling us that we're wrong and that we don't know what the fuck we're doing when they charged us $20 fucking to stand there and fucking give us nothing. But, ooh, look, he's trans, buy our game. No, fuck you. I don't care if he's trans. You know what? I don't give a fuck if Master Chief is married to a guy on Earth and sends his fucking husband shit when I'm not playing the game. I give a fuck about the game. Master Chief's sexuality doesn't matter to me. None of it does. But I'm sick of it being shoved down my fucking throat that I have to care. That I have to give it to. That I should buy this game only because it has gay people in it. It doesn't matter if the story was written by a drunken fucking hobo with English as a third language that he failed. I want a fucking game. Stop telling me to buy it because it's trans. Sell it to me on the game. And for the love of fuck, meet real trans people, meet real gay people, because the ones that are in the video games are goddamn terrible fucking trash that comes from people reading fucking shit on fanfiction.net and thinking, ah, yes, this is how gay people act. Because you know what? I served for 6 years with a guy who was gay. I mean, we're talking this guy was gay. 6 years with this ex-fucking Ranger, 6-foot-tall black dude who could stomp a mud hole in somebody's ass. You know what he did when he got off work? He went and sucked his husband's cock and met us in the fucking bar. Being gay was not his personality. Being gay was not who he was. Being gay was part of who he was. Who he was my fucking friend. But no, they can't do characterization like that because, oh my god, straight people don't understand gay people. Fuck you. They're
my
human.
middle name?
Fucking get it. Stop talking down to me and give me decent fucking characters.
Yeah.
And first, it doesn't matter whether you're bisexual, you're a shitty person, and that's why you can't get a fucking date, you fucking weirdo.
You know what I have to say?
Exactly.
My middle name is named after my dad's gay best friend who was in the military as well with him. So yeah, and people mocked me for that when my mom said, "Oh yeah, when we were in school and stuff." She went like, "Oh, don't go talk about like that." We did a gay joke. She went like, "Don't talk. Your middle name is gay." People mocked me for that. I'm like, so. My middle name was named after a gay guy. He was my dad's best friend. I don't give a shit.
My fucking uncle is gay.
Archie Bunker had gay people and trans people on the Archie Bunker show 40 fucking years ago. These hipsters ain't telling us any fucking new if he was on Archie fucking Bunker.
Yeah, my fucking uncle is gay, and he makes like all kinds of fucking jokes about gay people. It's like. It's not about and if you didn't know him and you didn't know that he was my uncle or whatever, you wouldn't. If you just saw him, he doesn't make it a part of his whole life. It's just a factor.
This cartoony attitude that they have, that stereotypical gayness thing that they're trying to throw on people, it doesn't work. It's not something.
And now to play the part of Arthur Chu, shields everywhere.
I think I might have to rethink my idea for a Street Fighter LGBT edition because you guys have completely changed my view on how I was supposed to portray them. I mean, I was just gonna say they were gay, and hoping that would like triple the sales. But
well, I do know that gay people do make fun of women too.
What LGBT edition? What do you mean?
Street Fighter LGBT edition.
I was thinking of Street Fighter SJW edition where they start slapping each other, where they do these like little baby slaps at each other and fight.
They just block each other from Twitter.
No, they just like. No, they just slap each other like, and they turn their head and they start. That little cartoony like slap.
The only move is block. You have no other controls other than block.
So what's the topic right now? I'm sorry, I just jumped in.
It's kind of Cara Allison and her stuff about Gone Home. It's the last topic.
Someone didn't disclose information. What a surprise.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's news.
That's news indeed. You want to hear news? I just put my new video up, and guess what the first comment was within 3 minutes? It was Sarah Butts.
What did Butts say?
I guess I gotta.
Said I was using honey badger as like a shield or something. I don't know.
Oh my god. Yeah. Why doesn't she just shut up?
Shields everywhere. I'm telling you.
Like a fucking guard.
She always starts crap with the whole issue with shields.
I know. I just find it so funny though.
I guess I gotta work harder. I mean, I don't have Sarah Butts trolling my videos. I gotta work harder.
I put this video up within 3 minutes. Bam! Sarah Butts is following me. So
I got like 100 and some videos up and it's nothing. I gotta work harder.
You gotta try harder.
Well, you could try to host your own little live streams.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done like one so far, and that was a debate. I mean, that was
me and JT do. Me and JT have a video series.
Yeah,
Grand Theft Jackasses.
Yeah, we did.
Grand Theft Assholes.
Yeah, Grand Theft Assholes.
I think the only live stream I've done so far on my channel, you guys are all pretty much there watching, and that was the one between Verlo and that other guy talking about Angry Joe and Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I gotta try harder. So.
Gotta try harder.
He's been on in the chat several times.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if maybe you guys showed her in the chat, like if you linked her the video.
She's almost a regular at this point.
Yeah.
Is Butts on the chat today? Has Butts been on the chat at all?
No, not that I've seen.
I haven't seen her either.
Well, I remember a stream. I don't remember from whom, who had the Starbucks and Roguestar in the same stream. It was a disaster. My God.
What, Sarah Butts and Roguestar on her stream?
That would have been something to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we did some. I'm surprised. I'm actually getting. Let's see if I can find them.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
What?
I don't know. Leon just said holy shit. So.
Oh yeah, right now Scintavine is doing a stream.
What's going on?
Is that where you guys? Is this a stream to watch Scintavine stream?
Is he falling asleep?
We're commenting on his stream.
In our stream, it's a streamception.
Streamers watching streams.
Yeah,
that's like the new Let's Plays. Is stream plays.
We comment on streams while they're streaming.
Yeah.
Do we have other topics?
No, we pretty much covered everything. If
come on. Just come on.
I mean, we could talk about what I posted.
Can we still talk about the honey badger stuff? Because that makes me angry. I'm so upset.
Yeah, I mean, we covered it earlier. But,
you did? Oh, okay.
You can go ahead and talk about it if you want.
Okay.
I'm going to jump because I don't to explosively detonate because they're making it go up, maybe. So you
go ahead and blow up.
Go in your fucking room.
Blow up, Jack. We need a blow.
Exercise your press B to blow skills.
Oh boy.
What did you have to go, Jack?
Do what?
Did you have to go?
Yeah, I gotta go. Well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go fuck around with stuff. We pretty much covered the topics, and anything else you hear me say is the same rant you've heard me say for a while. So I'm gonna go blow up Kerbals and have some fun.
Ooh.
And you guys go have
if
fun,
they ever put multiplayer on, I'm still gonna
I'll be doing
and blow things up.
Don't forget to go outside for a little while.
Yeah.
Everybody watching this, don't forget to go outside for a little bit.
I already am outside. I already been outside. I bike raided all day today, so.
See, right there, you're proving everything wrong.
I would go outside, but it's like dark.
And oh shit, Devin, get some better lighting, man, because you look like you got jaundice.
I don't know. It's pretty spooky out there.
I've been outside today and it was raining like hell.
Dude,
Hey,
how
you
did
gotta
you
admit,
live?
man, the
Horrible.
How are you alive right now?
graphics quality of outside is badass. I just wish they'd turn down the gamma a little bit.
Yeah, and the frame rate sucks sometimes.
What?
Too many fucking NPCs everywhere too.
Yeah, that sucks.
My biggest problem is the no clip, the accidental, like when I no clip through walls sometimes.
And the search function is fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
You ever just been so bored on a day that you just like start mentally narrating your life as if it was a video game?
Always. Why? Is that weird?
Not as much.
I thought everybody did that shit.
I would like to have Morgan Freeman narrate everything.
Oh my god, I would pay endless amounts of money for Morgan Freeman to narrate my life.
Yeah,
Yes.
hearing him talk and starting out with a Star Wars intro a long, long time ago.
No, I did your plane.
I was a little boy named
Because I had my friends over for dinner and they dirtied the dishes and now it's time to do them. And I remembered that my wife made the apple pie after she sent me. There you go. That's all you gotta do. But I'll check you guys later. Get down from there.
Sounds like my house.
So what are we talking about now?
We don't need to talk about I'll just go off whatever you guys are talking about, because I probably will just repeat everything you guys have said.
Go ahead and talk about the honey badger.
I can do more Calgary accent if you want.
It just makes me upset. Like I was going through like all the different articles and stuff today, and all the different articles that said like, oh, you know, good on Calgary because GamerGate is a hate group and blah 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 blah.
And
I mean, it's what you expect, but I mean, it just starts to get annoying after a while, especially when that's all I've been reading.
It's what's gonna end them. It's really what's gonna destroy them, because after doing that, it's gonna be like, you know what, you could win that fight, but you'll lose the war because what's gonna happen? Who are the public gonna side with?
Well, that's what I was thinking too, but I actually showed the video to my friends. Or didn't show the video, but I think they won't watch it. But I was like trying to get them to watch this. No, I've already made my decision. I read the articles. I know what happened. I'm like, no, you don't fucking read the articles.
Jesus, are they serious? They don't want to see the actual what actually happened, but they rather.
Yeah, but that's not surprising. People like that are going to do that.
Like my best friend, I was talking with him today, and he was like, "Oh, you know, I think they made a good decision. Apparently, they're a hate group, and they were only there to disrupt everyone else." I was like, "No, fucker." They were there to have a good time, just like anyone going to the convention.
It's just, I actually looked at like I said before when I talked to Leon about it, is that they were very civil in their conversation.
Yeah, man, they were so like...
It didn't seem like they were upset or anything like that, but it seemed like they were very, calm and very, civil about their conversation on the panel.
Not only that, they responded to a question, basically. I mean, someone was talking about MRA, and they said, "Can I interject?" And they said, "Yeah, sure." I mean, you invited them to discuss their point of view. They did that. They did that in a respectful way. You said your piece. They said their piece, and that's it. It's not like they ranted for half an hour or they started to create any kind of disturbance. They were invited to talk about their angle. and that's what they did.
Okay, I do have to ask
No,
one thing,
especially about females in comics.
Yeah.
Exactly. Female in comics, they are women who write comics. I mean, why are they outsiders in that discussion? They are exactly what they are talking about. Women in comics.
I have
a little bit of a side question here. I just want to ask real quick. Does anybody know how much it costs to rent a booth at a convention?
$10,000.
It depends on the convention you
They
go
paid
to.
$10,000.
I know a convention in Texas that rents it for like $200.
Damn. Because I was thinking,
it depends on how big of a space they want it to be.
It depends on the con.
At least I think it was. I read that in the article, but I could be wrong.
Honestly, I don't think it's $10,000.
That's what I thought too. That's what I read, and I was like confused.
No, I think the actual table cost was
no.
less.
You can
They were
easily
paying for
rent a
like
space for.
No, I was wrong.
Depending on how big you want the
$10,000 for
space
all
to
of them
be.
to get there. It was $10,000 for all of them to get to the convention and get kicked out. Well, not to rent. I'm sorry, that was completely factually.
They rented, they traveled, they had to eat, to sleep, and maybe all together is something near $10,000.
Yes.
Consider this: where did they took the $10,000? It was Indiegogo or what?
Patreon.
Patreon.
It was on their site. They had a fundraiser on their site.
Well, in any way, whatever they used, there is a percentage that goes to the website they used. It's not that they ask for 10,000 and they get 10,000. There are taxes.
They probably put it out of their own pockets, according to Karen, because Karen mentioned that they took it out of pocket from their side too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
The reason why I ask is I was considering, just for shits and giggles, setting up a GamerGate booth at Youmacon, which is a anime convention that takes place every year in Michigan, and it's basically our version of Comic-Con. So I kind of wanted to get an idea of that. So
it really depends on the convention.
Yeah,
I mean, I was organizing a convention here in Italy. We had booths for something like €70, something around $100. We have a very big convention. It's bigger than Comic-Con of San Diego. It's called Lucca Comics and Games, and there is about 700 for a booth. But 10,000 is absolutely crazy. It's not happening.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. That was really
$100 million.
Wait,
How much
do have to ask a question
for
though.
the booth at a convention, depending on the
The person
size?
heard of it, and I'm hearing this from Starbucks commenting on my video. She says, you have to take into account that they lied to get access to the event. What's
no,
this
they
about?
didn't. Sarah, you know what?
What?
What was the lie? Huh?
That's what I'm wondering. I never heard about this, so that's the first thing I heard about it.
I think that's just Sarah going full Macintosh.
That could be.
I forget what Sarah does.
By the way, did you know that we in Italy have the third biggest convention in the world, and Comic-Con San Diego is the fourth?
Really?
Did not know that.
Basically, the first one is Comic-Con in Japan. The second is the Angoulême in France, and the third is Lucca Comics in Italy. Fourth is Comic-Con.
Gamescom is bigger.
Really?
Gamescom? I didn't see.
Let me tell you something. Comic-Con's a giant convention, so I'm not sure if it's the fourth.
Well,
Gamescom has like...
You're not hearing about all these international ones, though, probably. You're hearing a lot about...
Comic-Con is worldwide, I know that.
Oh, yeah, no, it is worldwide, but the thing is, these other worldwide ones that aren't hosted in the U.S., you don't hear about them as much from, like, North America.
Yeah.
Like, I've rarely hear about the ones outside of the U.S.
Yeah, because I know that they have one in South America. I know they have one in almost in every continent.
Even in Antarctica.
Yeah.
I hear they have penguins there. that are really passionate about their furry costumes.
Yeah.
You know what? I was shocked really, when I learned about MagFest. I don't remember the number exactly, but someone said to me the MagFest is one of the biggest convention in the East Coast, right? Is in the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
And they said they had an attendance of something like 16,000, something like that.
Yeah.
My convention that I made here in Italy, and we made that for 4 years. I mean, it was successful, but it was, meh. It was not so big. But we had, in 4 years, created a convention that at the 4th year managed to have 19,000 people in attendance. So I was shocked to learn that I created something that was bigger than the biggest convention in the East Coast.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. And you run it? You're the executive of it, or?
Well, no. Basically, it was a very small team. There was someone who is a creative director, let's say, which is the boss, and he was something that simply had some political connections, because in Italy you have political connection, you do things. Otherwise, you do nothing. But he doesn't have the skills, and he came to me for the skills. So basically, everything creative inside that convention was bound to me. I was responsible for everything creative inside the convention. It was my child, but not my property, basically.
Basically, you didn't create it, but someone helped you. You helped out, basically.
Basically, I created the convention. I got all the ideas. I got all the contacts, etc. Except for the permission. The permissions, the money came from someone else. I didn't have the money. I didn't have political affiliation. Yes.
So you're saying I got everything except.
But you also got a backing by permission of the person who gave you the money, who invested the money.
Exactly. He was the owner of everything. It's not like he relegated me. I worked for him. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I had no property, no anything, but I was the one responsible to make it happen. Basically, he was the one with the money and the connection. That's it. And I was surprised, because I'm not a big name in anything. I'm not. I do not feel I made something incredible. Okay, I do not feel I am important in any way, and I'm not. I'm not really. I mean, in Italy,
just wanted to run a convention that basically.
Yeah, but I realized, looking at the numbers, that I made something that, in scale, was pretty much important. It was pretty big. And I didn't realize until I saw the numbers at MagFest.
And the numbers at MagFest were more, but you had
the number at MagFest were less.
It was 16,000 versus 19,000.
And your numbers were
19,000.
19. Wow.
19,000. The fact is, we we are used to compare ourselves with Lucca Comics and Games, which is the third in the world. Lucca Comics and Games, I believe, has almost 400,000 in attendance.
Wow.
Basically, it used to be smaller, but now all the city is the convention in those days. I mean, the whole city is full of booths everywhere.
Booths everywhere, even the outside.
The outside is the convention.
Wow.
I mean, I have to find a photo
all I gotta
of
say,
what happens.
Your convention sounds like Disneyland.
World of Batman, a world of more Batmans.
Yeah, it sounds like you created a huge convention, but at in a small area scale. Is this like a city or a town?
Is he there?
Hello.
Hello.
I think he disconnected.
Oh, I hope not. Seemed kind of interesting.
Yeah, I was really interested in that too.
Well, is there anything we want to cover before we stop the stream?
I don't think so.
Alright, let's start off with topic number 1. What is it? Alright, Will Wheaton White Knights for Anita.
Yeah, we already covered that one.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going through the topics now. I know, you know.
Let's shill our stuff then, Leon.
Yeah.
Shill your stuff.
Shill.
What, my account? My Twitter? Oh, Leon_Gunstill Twitter.
Alright.
Leon Gunstill YouTube as well.
Yeah. JT is Hero for Nuts.
Yep, that's me.
Hero
for Nuts.
Devon, you're gaming in progress, right?
Yes, I'm Devin Gaming. I'm Gaming in Progress on YouTube, and I'm Smelkshadic on Twitter, and I make GamerGate videos, video game videos, and stuff like that.
Delta?
Pretty much everything is Delta X20A, YouTube, Twitter. I just play games when I can.
Yeah. Could you just stay a little bit after off air? I want to ask you something.
Sure.
And then Kalnar, you're at Kalnar on YouTube and Twitter.
That is correct, but I feel like I'm not even allowed to shill my stuff out because I was so useless.
Yes,
but if you
more
want,
useless.
I'll put my thing in the chat.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier.
I'm at the_last_ride1. If you want to get into these streams, contact me on Twitter. And everyone is welcome. I'm gonna try to get
Pretty much.
next time. Oh, sorry, I think I kind of lagged, but I'm hoping to getting an auntie on next Wednesday.
Guys, do you realize how big it is? I tried to download a photo of Lucca Comics and my computer crashed. I couldn't handle it. No, wait.
I'm sorry if I asked you about it, man.
Yeah, we can talk about it off air. Let's just finish.
Gosh, Simon's got to show this thing out.
Yeah, say, Simon, let's share your stuff, Twitter or whatever.
I'm sending a link here and Twitter even if you want, but this is Lucca Comics. Just look at the crowd.
Alright, and yeah.
This is a point of Lucca Comics, and the whole city is the convention.
Alright, let's talk about this off air. Do you have a Twitter to share or anything?
A Twitter to share? My Twitter is Scarlet Game Show.
Okay. And if you guys like my stuff, subscribe to me, and we're gonna continue chatting off air a bit. Thanks for watching, everybody, and see you guys next Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.